Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Dr. Julius Nyeri CPM UNIA-ACL Division 421 Atlanta, Georgia mass meeting. Today is July 10th. It's 5:16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This will be our volume 11, issue 15 of our Whirlwind newsletter. Our topic for today is Marcus Garvey. Let's start with the pledge to the red, black, and green. Please repeat after me. I commit my body, mind, and spirit.
I commit my body, mind, and spirit
to the protection, defense, and security.
To the protection, defense, and security
of the red, black, and green.
Of the red, black, and green.
I dedicate my life.
I dedicate my life
to the redemption of Mother Africa.
To the redemption of Mother Africa.
And the liberation of us scattered Black children.
And the liberation of our scattered Black people.
I accept for myself and my descendants.
I accept for myself and my descendants
the teachings of universal African nationalism.
The teachings of universal African nationalism.
And promise that our children will be instilled.
And promise that our children will be instilled
with the purpose and knowledge of themselves as African people.
With the purpose and knowledge of themselves as African people.
In order that the cause of our struggle.
In order that the cause of our struggle
will neither falter nor fail.
Will neither falter nor fail.
Until all Black people are free and united.
Until all Black people are free and united.
Through one God.
Through one God.
One aim.
One aim.
And one destiny.
And one destiny.
Race first.
Race first.
All right, let's move on to our guidelines for the cause. Today, our meeting will have a lot of portions in it. The first portion, I wanted to do the tribute to our former Lady President, Queen Sassy, who passed away July 4th last week. And then I will open up the floor just for if anyone want to say any kind words about her or anything, ask any questions. I'm gonna open up the floor for a little bit. And then our topic for today is we going over Marcus Garvey. We're gonna read from Race First, the introduction. It gives a good bio over Marcus Garvey. And after we finish with that, there is a presentation. President John.
Yes.
I'm not for sure the details of the presentation. Who is it again?
It's a brother named Kamron. He should be calling in a few minutes. I'm gonna send him. I spoke to him earlier today, so he's gonna be on. He's a young brother out of Baltimore. He works with our Baltimore division, President Everett Winchester. But he's a passionate young brother that's got some ideas as to how the UNIA can have a stronger presence in regards to colleges and our young adults. So he'll be presenting a presentation, probably about 30 minutes, just giving us some insight as to some of the things they're doing in Baltimore, some things that we could be doing here in Atlanta, specifically to engage our college youth.
Thank you. And so I'm going to ask that when you do ask questions for each of the topics, that we stick to the topics and stick to the rules of the time, because we have a lot to cover today. So, okay. And then, our last half is member share. We give you all 3 or 4 minutes to share about anything of your choice. So you don't have to talk about the topic during member share. It's your chance. If you have a business or anything that you're doing in the community, or if you want to read a poem or from a book or whatever, that's your time please be considerate. Like I'm saying, don't go over your time. We're asking everyone to do 2 to 3 minutes today because of the time. We do have dates that are in the agenda. It's marked TBA. Those days are the days that we normally have presentations on. If you would like to present, you can do that. Keep your phone on mute when you don't have the floor. That way we can hear everyone. There will be people on this call with different ideas and religions. It's okay to disagree, but let's not become disrespectful. Ladies, do not give out your phone number during the call. Give out a business number or email. Do not use the N-word during the call, and be mindful of unnecessary using and overusage of curse words. I'm gonna pass it to President John so he could do roll call. Thank you.
Thank you, Lady President. So for the roll call.
I'm not Lady President.
Vice President, I'm sorry. My apologies. So on the call tonight, you have myself, Brother John, member number 306, serving as president. We have our Lady President, member number 110, Mama Amina, Lady President. We have our head of our African Legion here in Atlanta, member 149, Baba James, our Legal Defense Committee Coordinator, member 165, Attorney Imhotep, our Treasurer, member number 2, President Ross Marvin. We have our sister member, Sister Ifaniyi, member number 368, and we have Brother Kadiri, member number 431. Hold on. Hold on 1 second on the conference line. And we also have Lady President, Sister Tania. I got to get your member number. I think it's 172. Let me jump over to the conference line. Wasn't anybody up there first. Conference line. On the conference line, we have UNIA member 172, Dr. Shams. So that's 1 + 9, 10 on the call tonight as of right now. Pass the mic back to you, Lady President.
Okay. All right, so let's go to a tribute to our former Lady President, Queen Sassy.
See if I got a picture.
All right. It's and also just to let y'all know, everything is in the agenda. I sent it out early today. So if you do not have the agenda and you want to be added, then you can, let me give you my phone number. Sorry, y'all, I got it's one of them burner numbers. Okay, 469-445-0646, 469-445-0646. Whenever you text me, leave your name, your email address, and then we can add you to the mailing. Okay. Greetings, family. I am sad to report to you the passing of UNIA-ACL Division 421, former Lady President Queen Sassy. On July 4, 2022, she joined the Ancestors. In 2010, Queen Sassy came to Georgia from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, with the intentions of joining the UNIA-ACL in Atlanta. Upon her arrival, she joined Division 421 as member number 67. After becoming a member of Division 421, she quickly joined the leadership of our division as our executive secretary. Queen Sassy served as Division 421 executive secretary from 2010 to 2014. In 2014, she was elected to the position of Lady President of our Division 421. She served alongside President Ross Marvin from 2014 into 2021. Lady President Queen Sassy was committed to the works of the Honorable Marcus Garvey. Her dedication to 421 was shown by her continuous financial contributions in the running of the Black Star Cafe, which is a food service for Division 421. She was an excellent cook, and she provided delicious food for members of the division. When UNIA-ACL President General Michael Duncan visited Atlanta, she cooked for him also. Lady President Queen Sassy drove tractor trailers all across the U.S., but this did not prevent her from being at Division 421 mass meetings on Sunday. She joined meetings by conference call or Zoom while traveling the highways. She also traveled to represent Division 421 at the UNIA-ACL High Executive Council meetings and the UNIA-ACL conventions. She also stated that her other job of the division was to assist and protect President Ross Marvin. While working alongside President Ross Marvin, Lady President Queen Sassy provided key leadership to enable Division 421 to grow to over 400 members. And one of the 400 members is her daughter, Autumn, member 199. Even her sons, Sente would visit with us on Sunday meetings. Lady President Queen Sassy was loved by everyone that she came into contact with in Division 421, by members of other UNIA-ACL divisions and the UNIA-ACL parent body. Her positive energy always kept the people around her smiling and laughing. Lady President Queen Sassy will be missed by all that knew her. Division 421 sends our condolences to her family and loved ones now that she has become an ancestor. So before I open up the floor, I wanted to ask if anyone would be willing to donate anything to go to the family of Queen Sassy. I would like for us to start when we have someone that passed away in our division. I feel like we need to at least give them a flag. The family needs to have a flag, flowers, and any financial donations. So if you all have anything to give, it will be greatly appreciated. And I provided a link to where you can donate in the agenda, but the donation link is paypal.me/ what is it, President John? Because I'm not looking at it. I didn't put the words in the agenda. I just put a link.
UNIA 421. I didn't know you had everything in the agenda either. So let me share that. UNIA 421.
So it's PayPal what again?
PayPal.me/UNIA 421. Following along as you were reading. So
I think as of now, they don't know if anybody wanted to go to the services. At this time, we don't really have information of a date, but we know she's gonna be cremated. So I guess her family will let us know. So I'll try to remember to send out like a email or something, or agenda with that information when we get it.
yes.
Okay, and do anyone know that's in Atlanta, know anyone that does arrangements or flowers that's Black owned? Because I tried the Google search, I went and looked up some businesses, but I'm not from down there, so I didn't really, know which one to pick.
Yeah, I'm not. Sister Tania called me about this earlier, and I suggested that she pose a question to the membership, but I'm not personally aware of any Black-owned flower arrangement companies here in Atlanta.
It's like it's a whole list of them. I went and Googled it. It's a list of them, but you know, they didn't really have no reviews by it, so I didn't know what to do. Okay.
We'll find something, Sister Tania.
Okay. Did anyone want to say anything or have any questions?
I guess I'll give my comments.
Okay.
Yeah, I met Lady President in 2018 when I came into the division. Just extremely welcoming, and it was almost as if she couldn't wait for us to have events so that she could cook for the events. But we were unable to do that, you know, as much as we would like. But she always had a spirit of wanting to help, wanting to be involved, and she was a very strong, active member. And that's one thing we have to keep in mind, that we are losing. Even though Queen Sassy she was traveling, she still made sure she contributed to the organization. And you know, losing her, we lose a strong member and a strong volunteer. So I want to just thank Queen Sassy for the legacy she laid, the foundation she laid, and for, you know, sacrificing and giving her time, you know, to her people. This, you know, if we don't reward and acknowledge our family members that give their lives for this organization, one, who will do it, and two, why would anybody want to give their life if they're not acknowledged? So we have to make sure as a division we acknowledge her contribution. We look in on the family, make sure the family is handling this as best as possible, but with that, we're there to support them. So and last thing I want to say is, as a division, we will make a contribution to the family. Myself, I'll be the first to commit to $50 to go towards Queen Sassy and her services. And I also look at try to find a Black-owned florist company. So those are my thoughts, but highly respected, and she will be missed. Thank you, Lady President.
Okay, I'll match your 50. So we have 104 now.
All right, I like it. Anybody else? I didn't know I didn't have my mic.
Yes, I'll also give 52. And President John, can you give out the 421 Cashapp?
Yes. Yes, I will do that. $ UNIA 421 fund. So just fund at the end of 421. FUND.
Okay, thanks.
I'm going to share them in the chat as well.
Okay, it's been sent. But me, I always remember her as being funny. Cause I be over here on mute laughing at some of the stuff she be on here saying. Well, she will be missed.
Yes.
And definitely a hard worker,
Yes.
always working. And I just hate I didn't get a chance to meet her. Okay, anyone else?
Yes, it's Brother Imhotep here, just briefly. I remember speaking to her. She was on the road, working, no telling where she'd be at, but she was always working and conscious for her people. And definitely someone with that heart being so strong, conscious, dedicated, she will be missed.
Permission to speak, it's Baba James.
Go ahead, Baba James.
Queen Sassy definitely earned her name. I can't remember any time I was ever in her presence that she didn't light up the room and bring an energy of welcoming and just a thankfulness to be in each other's presence. I enjoyed every meal. I enjoyed every opportunity to be a part of helping her get those meals available to our membership. It was just she was just a joy. You know, I'll always remember those opportunities that, you know, we took a moment to side to talk about what it was going to take to unify us as a people. And I'm just thankful to have known her. Race first.
Race first. That's a
Thank you all.
thank you, Lady President. Well, Lady Vice President.
Yeah, you keep don't be speaking that into existence.
Well, I mean, we talking about Queen Sassy, so you know, I'm in my Lady President mode, right?
All right.
Is that all that you have for this portion?
Yes.
Okay. Last call. Any questions or any statements, condolences to Queen Sassy and her family? Anyone? Okay. So we will. I guess next we were going into the reading. Sister Tania.
Yes, we are.
All right. Before we do that, I just wanted to. I got to figure out a way. I should probably do the preamble before I do the roll call, but I want to make sure we do our preamble at the beginning of our meetings as well. So with that, let me read the preamble to the Constitution of the UNIA-ACL. So Marcus Garvey says that we should use this it's a great summary of who we are, who the organization is, and what our principles are. So the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League is a social, friendly, humanitarian, charitable, educational, institutional, constructive, and expansive society, and is founded by persons desiring to the utmost to work for the general uplift of the Negro peoples of the world. And the members pledge themselves to do all in their power to conserve the rights of their noble race and to respect the rights of all mankind, believing always in the brotherhood of man and the fatherhood of God. The motto of the organization is one God, one aim, one destiny. Therefore, let justice be done to all mankind, realizing that if strong oppresses the weak, confusion and discontent will ever mark the path of man, but with love, faith, and charity towards all, the reign of peace and plenty will be heralded into the world, and the generations of men shall be called blessed. Okay, I'll jump back to the reading and we'll follow along. A screen, yeah, we'll share.
Okay. Let me start with the quote of the day. I meant to do it first, but forgot. Okay. This also came from the book Race First. I think it was the chapter on propaganda. I know that's a book that we're gonna have to revisit again because it was very good. It had a lot of like to help you kind of understand the philosophies and stuff of Marcus Garvey. Okay. The great white man has succeeded in subduing the world by forcing everybody to think his way from his guide to his fireside. He has given to the world, from the Bible to his yellow newspaper sheet, a literature that establishes his right and sovereignty to the disadvantage of the rest of the human race. The white man's propaganda has made him the master of the world, and all those who have come in contact with it and accepted it has become his slaves. The Universal Negro Improvement Association is now calling on the 400 million members of our race to discard the psychology and propaganda of all other peoples and to advance our own. The white man taught that the best of the world was intended for him, and we now teach that all the beauties of creation are the black man's, and he is heir to all that God has given to man. Okay. Race first. Here we go. Introduction. Marcus Mosiah Garvey, born 1887 to 1940.
Sister Tania,
Huh?
if you could you read the two quotes at the top of the cover for those who have not read Race First or not aware?
Oh yes, I was at the top part, the introduction. Okay, I'm coming on down. What do I care about death and the cause of redemption of Africa? I could die anywhere in the cause of liberty. A real man dies but once, a coward dies 1,000 times before his real death. So we want you to realize that life is not worth its salt, except you can live and live it for some purpose. And the noblest purpose for which to live is the emancipation of a race and emancipation of prosperity. Okay, that's Marcus Garvey. The next quote is, history records that slaves, by virtue of their experiences and knowledge gained in captivity in strange lands, have eventually become masters of themselves and in time enslave others. Let us therefore use adversity as others have, take advantage of every, adversity. Let us therefore use adversity as others have, take advantage of every opportunity. Where there is none, make it for yourself, and let history record that as we told laboriously and courageously, we work to live gloriously. Okay, it's Marcus Garvey, his quote. So I can't remember who is this. Tony Martin.
Yes.
Okay. For some reason, I thought somebody else did the introduction. Nobody did the introduction of this one. When John Henry Clark, no, that was the other book. That was the course on African philosophies. Okay.
Sister Tania,
Um.
the two quotes that I was talking about on the cover of the book, though.
Oh.
So that people that haven't read the book know what it's described as.
Okay. All right. The classic study of the Garvey movement, the truth has finally been told. Honorable Thomas W. Harvey, the late President General of the UNIA. And then the next quote is from John Henry Clark, as close to a definite study of Marcus Garvey as we have seen.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank
my
you.
bad.
Okay.
Okay, Marcus Messiah Garvey was born in St. Anne Bay, Jamaica on August 17, 1887. His childhood was deeply rooted in the peasant environment, which largely surrounded him. He once described an uncle for whom he sometimes worked as a sharecropper. His own parents also engaged in small-scale peasant farming. Garvey's was not a typical peasant experience, however. His father, a descendant of the Maroons in Jamaica, Africa, ex-slaves who successfully defied the slave regime, was also a skilled tradesman, a stonemason. Garvey's background further distinguished him from the typical peasant in that his father possessed a library among whose volumes Garvey developed an early taste for reading. His childhood was characterized by an adequate elementary education, supplemented by private tutors in Sunday school. His leadership ability seems to have manifested itself from the very beginning, for his physical prowess gave him a position of immense among his peers. At the age of 14, hold up, y'all, I'm looking for my glasses. 1 second. Cool, baby, these words are little. I'm reading from the agenda instead of the book. Yeah.
You zooming in?
Yeah, even with me zooming in, it's like about to give me a headache.
Okay.
Well, I did. Okay, here they go. That's better. Okay, gave him at the age of 14, by which time he had already become an apprentice to a local printer, Garvey left school. 2 years later, he moved to Kingston, Jamaica's capital city, where he obtained work. By the time he was 18, he had achieved what he later described as an excellent position as manager of large printing establishment. This was an outstanding achievement, making Marcus Garvey the youngest four-man printer in Kingston, and at a time when many foremen were still being imported from Great Britain and Canada. Participation in a strike during which he consented to lead the workers despite assurances of favor from management cost him his job. He then obtained new employment with the government printery. In Kingston, Garvey quickly immersed himself in the intellectual and political life of the city. By 1909, his political involvement had brought him into the National Club organized by a lawyer and legislative council member, Sandy Cox. Garvey was elected one of the assistant secretaries of his club, which sought to combat privilege and the evils of British colonialism on the island. In 1910, Garvey embarked on the first of many wanderings in foreign lands. He went to Costa Rica, where he worked for a while as a timekeeper on a United Fruit Company banana plantation, and as a laborer on the pier of Port Limon, edited a paper at La Nation, harassed the British Council concerning his non-protection of many British West Indian laborers working there. He was arrested for urging workers to fight for better conditions and was eventually expelled from the country or left to escape the authorities. He continued for the next year or so to wander through Latin America, going to such places as Panama, Ecuador, where West Indian workers had migrated in large numbers in search of work. He observed the universal degradation of the Black race and worked intermediately to finance his travels and started another small paper in Cologne, Panama, and agitated among Black workers. A Black worker in Cologne at the time remembered meeting Garvey around 1912 as he addressed the predominantly Black Cologne Federal Labor Union. There is a possibility that Garvey may have stopped briefly and perhaps in transit at a seaport somewhere in the United States during this period. Okay, from Central America, Garvey returned briefly to Jamaica, and by the autumn of 1912, undeterred by a lack of money, he was in England where his only surviving sister, Indiana, was working as a governess. In England, he indulged his love of public speaking at Hyde Park Speaker's Corner, and was a regular visitor to the House of Commons, and worked for the African Times and Orient Review, the foremost Pan-African journal, of the day. He found the time to visit Scotland, Ireland, France, Italy, Spain, Austria, Hungary, Germany. Garvey said later that he attended some lectures in the law of Birkbeck College of the University of London. By July 1913, Garvey was not surprisingly almost destitute. He applied for government assistant, possibly because of his job at the African Times and Orient Review. However, this is in quotations, his article for the magazine was published in October issue, close quotes. He was able to eke out an existence for almost another year. By May 1914, when he was probably again without employment, the Anti-Slavery and Aborigines Protection Society intervened on his behalf, dispatching him to the colonial office with an offer of contribution from the society if the colonial office would put up some of the money to repatriate him to Jamaica. Early in June, the society informed the colonial office that Garvey was enduring to raise a fund to meet passage money and offered to match equally any amount the colonial office offered. Garvey managed to do without the largesse of these two agencies. However, he succeeded in raising his spare home and left England on June 17, 1914. Okay, could somebody take over right here? And I will come back at page 7. Garvey's first.
I got you, Sister Tania.
Okay.
Garvey's first sojourn in England was of great importance to his career. The workings of British democracy made a lasting impression on him, and like later generations of visitors from the colonized world to the metropolis, he noted the contrast to the autocracy. Let me see. Zoom out. He noticed the autocracy which the very same colonizers maintained in their tropical dependencies. He was often to call in the years to come. He was often to call in the years to come for an extension of quote unquote British justice to the colonies. England gave him an opportunity to enhance his already wide knowledge of the worldwide sufferings of Black people. In the pages of the African Times and Orient Review, there appeared regularly articles by and about such leading Black figures as Booker T. Washington, Edward Wilmot Blyden, John Edward Bruce, W.E.B. Du Bois, and William Ferris, to name a few. Some of these would before long be his associates in the United States. Garvey also came into contact with the Black seamen and students whose sufferings he observed, and with the many people of color who visited the offices of the journal. And the fact that the journal combined a Pan-African outlook with the wide coverage of Middle and Far Eastern nationalist struggles, and indeed all anti-colonial struggles, contributed further to Garvey's growth and influenced his future outlook. Garvey arrived back in Jamaica on July 15, 1914, and his head bristling with ideas on making a living and founding a racial movement. To secure the former, he tried selling greetings and condolences cards and monumental tombstones. To secure the latter, he formed 5 days after his arrival the Universal Negro Improvement Association and Conservation Association. Universal Negro Improvement and Conservation Association and African Communities Imperial League. The title bore testimony to the enlarged vision brought about by his travels and the fear, which he never relinquished, that weak races were doomed to slavery and possibly extinction. In this regard, he wrote, "For the last 10 years, I have given my time to the study of the condition of the Negro, here, there, and everywhere, and I have come to realize that he is still the object of degradation and pity the world over, in the sense that he has no status socially, nationally, or commercially, with a modicum of exception in the United States of America." Garvey became president and traveling commissioner of the new organization, among whose stated objects were the fostering of, quote, a universal confraternity among the race, end quote, the establishment of a central nation of Black people, the setting up of educational institutions, and a pledge to, quote, work for better conditions among Negroes everywhere, end quote. Amy Ashwood, whom he met at the weekly meeting of the East Queen Street Baptist Literary. Sister Tania, you said you were going to come back at 7?
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm
Okay,
okay.
let me go back to. I got off the screen. Okay. Oh shoot, it took me off. Okay, Queen St. Baptist Literary Debating Society became its secretary. The association was formed, she said, on their second meeting. A few days later, an inaugural meeting took place at the Collegiate Hall, Kingston, preside over by the mayor of Kingston. Recruiting was slow, even though Garvey worked tirelessly and succeeded and established himself in the mind of many as an agitator and a nuisance. Many respectable Negroes who had not yet learned to love their Blackness opposed his movement. As Garvey wrote later, I had to decide whether to please my friends and be one of the Black whites of Jamaica and be reasonably preposterous, or come out openly and defend and help improve and protect the integrity of the Black millions and suffer. After about a year, the organization could boast about 100 members. Up to this time, its activities were largely confined to Kingston, and in November 1950, however, its first public meeting outside of Kingston was held in Garvey's hometown of St. Ann's Bay. The Jamaican Times reported, right merrily did the people of the town turn out to listen to their fellow townsmen. Garvey had planned to undertake a fundraising lecture tour in the United States and begin this very month. Having received an assurance of support from Booker T. Washington, but the latter's death caused him to postpone his trip into 1916. Garvey arrived in New York on March 23rd, 1916, for a lecture tour, which he thought would last 5 months and would be confined to Black audiences, mostly in the South. He arranged for his mail to be delivered to an address in Jamaica. During his absence, let it be known whenever he went in America that he was raising funds for an industrial institute to be established in Jamaica. Garvey's advent into the United States did not find him as much as a stranger to conditions there as some are led to believe. For one thing, his wide reading on racial matters had obviously included the race and conditions of North America. More than this, though, Garvey's visit to the United States came in the midst of a large-scale migration of West Indians to that country. The toing or froing of persons and ideas generated by this migration meant that adapting to the United States was probably not much of a problem for new arrivals. By March of 1916, Garvey's sense of mission, his conviction that he had been called upon to emancipate his race, had developed into an uncanny degree. Shortly before leaving Jamaica, he had written in a letter to Robert Russell Moulton, Booker T. Washington's successor at Tuskegee, "I am now talking with you as a man with a mission from the High God." Even though he still thought that Jamaica would be the main field of his exertions, he had nevertheless already mapped out the course he was to follow over the next few years. He wrote in the same letter, "I have many large schemes on my mind for the advancement of my people that I cannot expose at the present to the public, as in such a case, my hope of immediate success would be defeated, as my enemies are so many, they are ever anxious to misrepresent me. I have firstly to found a press of our own and get some working so as to demonstrate my true intentions." Once in the United States, Garvey found lodging with Jamaican family in Harlem. He came down with pneumonia, obtained work as a printer, and saved enough to start out his fundraising tour through the states. He gave his address at this time at 53 West 140th Street in Harlem. By June, he was lecturing in Boston, and by November, demonstrating again the amazing mobility which he had characterized his Central American and European visits. He had already visited, among other places, New York, Boston, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., and Chicago. He had also met a godly number of prominent national and local Afro-American leaders. Among them were John Edward Bruce, whom he called a true Negro, a man for whom he had the strongest regard, a Dr. R.R. Wright Jr., Dr. Parks, Vice President of the Baptist Union, Dr. Triley of Methodist Episcopal Church of Philadelphia, Reverend J.C. Anderson, whom he described only as being of Quinn Chapel, Miss Ida B. Wells Barnett of the Anti-Lynching Fame magazine editor, Fenton Johnson, and William H. Ferris. Bruce had been an agent for the regular contributor to the African Times and Orient Review. Ferris had once written an article for the same magazine in which he praised Garvey's October 1913 article, which had appeared a few months before his. Ferris was later to edit Garvey's weekly Negro World from 1920 to 1923 and to hold a variety of high offices within the UNIA. Bruce, after an initial period of skepticism, became a regular contributor to the member of the editorial boards of both Negro World and Garvey's Daily Negro Times. Until his death in 1924, he remained the staunchest of Garvey's supporters among Afro-American intelligentsia. What's that?
Intelligentsia.
Intelligentsia.
Yeah.
Okay. Garvey's whirlwind tour took him through 38 states and lasted about a year. He returned at the end of it to New York City, where he established a temporary base. Harlem, only recently converted into the Black section of New York, was already the virtual capital of the Black world. Its population, composed in the vast majority of Southern and West Indian-born immigrants, was possessed of a rare ability, containing as it did a high proportion of radicals of all types and a large number of outstanding Black creative artists. Race uplift groups of all kinds abounded in the main thoroughfare. Lenox Avenue was a favorite haunt of soapbox oratorios. Harlem, however, was a microism of the Black world of the World War period. The subjugation of Africa by European imperialists was still a fresh memory. In response to this infinite number of nationalist and Pan-Africanist organizations had come into being in Africa, Europe, North America, West Indies, Central and South America, everywhere that Black people lived, and all looking towards the restoration of African independence. Apart from the African question, Black communities everywhere had local problems of their own. The Black man was almost everywhere in a state of subjugation. Garvey, in his involvement in the printer strike and his participation in Jamaica's National Club, in his agitation among Black workers in Central America, in his travels in Europe, and in his formation of the UNIA, in parentheses, conservation, had dropped out of the title along the way. He had long embodied the spirit of Black protest, which characterized the age. It was inevitable, therefore, that he should be tempted by Harlem, the most highly politicized Black community in the world. Garvey moved on to the center of Harlem stage with all the ease and self-confidence of the man with a mission. He took to the streets, joining the soapbox, the step ladder oratorios, and formed political alliances with some of Harlem's prominent radicals. Someone who knew Garvey at this time recalled that he could throw his voice around three corners without batting an eyelash. On June 12, 1917, Harlem intellectual Herbert Harrison invited Garvey to address a mass meeting attended by 2,000 held at the Bethel A&M Church for the purpose of organizing Harrison's Liberty League. Garvey himself, before his tour through the states, had held a not too successful meeting in the course of which he fell off the platform. The Liberty League meeting was a windfall, however, for he was tremendous success. Okay, shortly before Preamble, shortly after Harrison's, Garvey began to hold weekly meetings of his own every Sunday at 3 p.m. in Harlem Lafayette Hall. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop. Although it's interesting, I just wanted to really just do a quick bio of Garvey. I'm looking.
You stop in here, First Lady Vice President?
Yeah, I'm gonna stop.
Okay.
I think I covered like what I wanted to, just just the main parts of him, where he was born, how did he get to the point that he got to, where he got to the US, and just the main points.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe if we have time, or we have a downtime during the year, we can finish it up.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you, First Lady Vice President,
All right.
for that reading.
Mhm.
We'll open the floor. Oh, yeah, before I give any comments, I'll open the floor to the membership. Anybody have any questions or comments in regards to what was read? And again, Lady President was reading the introduction of Race First by Dr. Tony Martin. Any questions, comments, or anything on the reading for tonight?
I just want to give the sister some praise. This is Kamron. For those of you who haven't met me, I'm in the Baltimore division or whatnot. I just want to give the sister some praise for standing up and speaking for us, and reading the passage or whatnot. I think she did a pretty good job.
Ashe. Thank you, Brother Cameron.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions, comments in regards to the reading, introduction of Race First?
Yes, Brother Imhotep here.
Greetings again.
Brother Herbert Harrison, HHH, was a bad boy. Also, I believe from one of the Caribbean islands. They called him, quote, the Black Socrates. And so he introduces Garvey in 1917. Garvey just gets to town. In 1917, he introduces Garvey at this Liberty League Harrison is starting. And Garvey goes on from there and starts holding his own meetings. And it looks like that's when the formation of the UNIA-ACL in this country begins. So I just wanted to note the connection there for another outstanding African, Hubert Herbert Harris, HHH, bad boy.
Thank you, Attorney Imhotep. He was born in America?
No. He was one of the Caribbean countries. I'd have to look it up here. Maybe I can do it here shortly and let you know.
Okay, thank you, Attorney Imhotep. Anybody else have any observations, questions, comments? Okay. One of the things I pulled out of it, or that I caught, was when they were talking about the first year. A few days later, an inaugural meeting took place at the Collegiate Hall, Kingston, presided over by the mayor of Kingston. Zoom in a little bit. So even in the beginning, with the support of the mayor of Kingston, next statement, recruiting was slow, even though Garvey worked tirelessly and succeeded in establishing himself in the minds of many as an agitator and a nuisance. So Garvey was working his butt off, and people knew what he was known for, but they were still hesitant to be a part of the movement. It continues, many quote unquote respectable Negroes who had not yet learned to love their Blackness opposed his movement. As Garvey wrote later, quote, I had to decide whether to please my friends and be one of the Black whites of Jamaica and be reasonably prosperous, or to come out openly and defend and help improve and protect the integrity of the Black millions and suffer. So, you know, I hope this is a message of encouragement. You know, even if we are doing everything that we plan on doing, we make commitments, we decide what's best, and we execute it. The results may not be what we want, but that doesn't mean that we're doing the wrong things. We have to be aware of the mindset of our people and the conditions of our people. And, you know, preaching a message of self-love isn't always accepted or received. So that was the only thing that I wanted to point out, was the struggles that Garvey had early on building the organization.
Okay, Brother Harrison was born in St. Croix.
St. Croix, okay. So this was prior to, or this was in 1914, around the time he established the UNIA?
No, this is as I said, 1917. So Garvey is in America, comes to America in 1916.
Yes.
Yeah, and according to that reading, that speech he gave was 1917, and then Garvey goes on to make his own speeches and own meetings, collaborations, and apparently starts the UNIA here in this country.
Herbert Harrison.
Yeah,
Hubert.
the 1917 meeting was held at Bethel AME Church up there in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And it was attended by 2,000 folks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Herbert Harrison.
Right.
H.
Okay. Thank you, Attorney Imhotep. Thank you, Lady President.
Yes, sir.
Any closing comments on the introduction before we move to our next section? So with that, Brother Kamron.
Yes, sir.
I am making you co-host now. I've already given a brief introduction to you and what you plan on presenting. If you'd like to reintroduce, please do so, but you have the floor.
All right. How's everybody doing? My name is Kamron. I'm from the Baltimore division, but I live in North Carolina.
Greetings. Thanks for coming.
All right. Thank you for having me. Today, I have a presentation where I want to basically present a recruitment strategies proposal. And I came up with this proposal because I've been with the UNIA for about 6 months now. But one of the issues that I saw, at least for the Baltimore division, is I felt like our numbers were a lot lower than what I believe they should be. And so I came up, with some ideas that I put to paper, or digital, as you can say, with a plan of action of how we can fight this and get our membership up. So if you guys would just bear with me for one moment, I'm going to share my screen and we'll get started.
Yes, sir. So yeah, thank you, Brother Cameron. And these are some of the things that we've talked about as a division internally, recruiting our youth, being engaged, being out there in the community, being visible. So I think the presentation that Brother Kamron has shown goes directly in line with a lot of the things that we've discussed. So I'd like for him to make the presentation and, for us as a division to discuss, how we can apply that here and how we can help Baltimore as well.
And I do want to say very quickly, brother, I had to change the settings on my computer to allow Zoom to basically record me. I'm gonna have to drop out and then come right back in. So if you could give me like 1 or 2 minutes.
Go ahead.
All right, thank you. All right, brother, I'm back. I don't know if you need to, make me co-host again or whatever the case may be, but I should be ready to go now.
Yeah, you should be good. You should have permission.
All right. All right. Can everybody see very well? All right, I'll take that as a yes.
Yes, we see.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So as I said, I came up with this. This is a plan of action for us to get our recruitment up, and I call it the 2022 recruitment strategies proposal. So I'm in college right now. I'm attending ECU for software engineering, and that is one of the main reasons why I came up with this plan of action. Is mainly geared towards fraternities and the college campuses. So a UNIA-ACL National Campus Fraternity, to what benefit? It will systematically bring in hundreds, if not thousands, of new recruits every semester. It will grab the masses of youth that have chosen to further their education and likely become our future leaders. Most professional athletes are chosen through 4-year university attendance. These athletes could have an enormous impact financially and help also to bolster our name and image out in the public. The women and men entering the nursing and doctorate programs could systematically be drafted into the Black Cross nurses, over time effectively building our own healthcare system and employing our own workers. All right, I'm assuming that I'm 30 years old. I'm assuming that the majority of you, the majority of people that's on the line are, within my age range or a little bit older. So you probably already experienced college. But as you can see, for the images that we have right here is at the top left, we have the main Black Greek fraternities and some imagery of basically, how they've indoctrinated our African youth into going along with fake, what I call the Greeks fakes. In my opinion, from what I've learned, they basically took their knowledge from ancient Africa, being Kemet or what we call Egypt today.
They did.
Yes, ma'am. And so as you can see right here, with this image in particular, I want you guys to look at it. I've seen this on several men, who have been in fraternities where they're branding their bodies with these, these Greek symbols. And that just goes to show you how willing and to what length that they're willing to go to, signify that they're a part of some type of organization or fraternity. And the UNIA is a fraternity. As you can see down here to the bottom right of the corner, it looks like they're throwing up gang signs. So either you're going to be in a gang when you hit the streets, or you're going to be in a gang when you hit college.
Lord
exactly. You know what I mean? So they got us wrapped up both ways. It's just up to us to, you know, unravel this. And as you can see in this picture, obviously it doesn't speak for everybody, but you know, these are all different fraternities, Black fraternities, and they're throwing up the Black fist. That's our symbol. So, you know, my whole thing is that they're already in a place where to be brought into basically race first type of a situation, they just need to be taught that. And as you can see down here, look at all of these women, all of our young African youth, as far as these women go. Imagine that this was a UNIA-ACL fraternity, you know, and they were pledging for us, and instead of you know, these Greeks. All right.
Yeah, that just don't make no sense. You're right.
Yes, ma'am. Colleges have to be targeted for recruitment, and here's a couple reasons why. College campuses must be targeted for recruitment because there are multiple Greek fraternities and not yet one UNIA fraternity, which the UNIA explicitly calls itself a fraternity. Many young incoming students want to join organizations and make changes in the world. They also need them to add on to their resume. Law students are required to complete roughly 8 to 10 years of college level classes. These are our future lawmakers, lawyers, judges, government officials, police officers, and alphabet agents. The CIA, FBI, ATF, and etc. all recruit our most talented African youth from top-ranking universities via Stanford, Yale, MIT, and Harvard, using them against us to continue white fragility, aka white supremacy. We must reach them first before they get to them, and we have the opportunity. The women and men going into these nursing and doctorate programs also undergo added years of additional stringent education. These are our future Black Cross nurses and doctors. Both
You're
groups
right.
will be needed if we don't want to continue being victims to European domination and systematic racism. All right. Now to give
All
us some
right.
more imagery right here. We have all of these. Well, I want to say this looks like a HBCU right here. I don't really see any white people in here, but we have all of these people. They're having these you know, some of them look a little bit funny. Like I won't comment too much on that, but basically African attire on, and just imagine if we can. This is just one college, one graduation. This is happening every semester, 2 times a year. If we can grab, you know, this amount of students to come into the UNIA, even a small fraction of that, you know, it will make a huge difference. And here we go here on the right-hand side, as I was just talking about the nurses and the future doctors. Here goes our Black Cross nurses right here. And we're letting the oppressor get a hold of them. So we gotta
You're right.
figure out a way to reverse this and step in and play our hand. Because they're waiting on us. And it's our job as the UNIA to bring them into the body. All right. Down here we have, if I'm not mistaken, it was a Harvard protest. I mean, a Howard University protest when some type of racial event occurred. Now, this right here would have been a prime time for us to be going out and handing out flyers, talking to these young youth about the UNIA-ACL, what we can do and our plan of action to basically, you know, pull them in. So when events like this happen, even how we had the Buffalo shooting, all these type of events that's going on, these are prime times we have to take advantage of it, you know.
You're right.
I've heard a saying, I can't give it to you verbatim, but basically, you know, one of the ways that the white supremacy or our oppressors come up against us is, you know, they put us in certain situations and then they take advantage of it. So we got to learn how to, once those situations occur, how to play the other hand, basically. All right, and I'm going through this a little bit fast. You know, I was told I have a limited amount of time, so you know, if I need to slow down at any moment, please interrupt me. Okay, so there are 107 HBCUs in the UNIA, and there are roughly 107 HBCUs, and we have the UNIA-ACL. Let's do some math. Y'all try to stick with me here. There are roughly 107 HBCUs. In Maryland alone, there are 4. The average number of African students that are enrolled annually between the 4 is roughly 16,500 students in Maryland. Okay, and as I told you guys, I'm a part of the Baltimore branch, but we can easily pull you up something for Georgia as well. All right. So 8,700 students are in Baltimore alone. It's estimated that 94% of students in HBCUs in this group are African, bringing the average number of Africans enrolled yearly to roughly to around 8,178 students in Baltimore. Imagine if we can get 1/3 to join the UNIA-ACL annually, our numbers would swell exponentially year after year. And so I got a little math going on down here where 1/3 of roughly 8,000 students would be around 2,500 students a year. Okay. Now, when we look at our dues, a lot of the times we're having issues funding programs and events that we want to initiate. And you know, this is where this is basically going to come into play. Now, when we look at our dues or whatnot, it's around $56 a year for your first, your first entry or whatnot. So if we have roughly around 2,500 students, we're looking at around $137,000 coming in initially for the initial dues every year. And I don't know about you guys, but I think Baltimore could do a whole lot with $100,000. Okay. So, and if we look down here at the bottom, after around 5 years, looking at the math that I have, as I said, 1/3 of around 8,000 students. After 5 years, that's 12,265 students. Okay. Now, let's just say that obviously, in reality, we may not be able to keep everyone, but let's just say that we are keeping everyone who came in. All right. Now we're looking at as I said, after 5 years, we would have gotten around 12,265 students. And then with a yearly income dues of $46, we're talking about just over $500,000 in income and dues that we've been able to build up after 5 years. And this right here, as I'm telling you, this is only pertaining to 4 of the 107 known HBCUs that are inside of just Baltimore alone. When I did the math for North Carolina, it came up to like $1.5 million. So, when it comes down to Georgia, I'm pretty sure we can get a high number there as well. And
right, because we got Spelman and Morehouse.
That's right. That's right. So, and then, if we look at, if the main thing that I'm trying to present here is that if there's 107 and then we can make roughly around 500,000 just off of 4, think about what we can do if we can hit every campus. The money that we would have would be enough for us to go into business over and over and over and over and over again and really make a change in our community, whether it's handing out socks during the wintertime or whatever the case may be. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and move forward. Like I said, I'm in college and I'm somewhat young. At least I like to think so. And when it comes down to I guess branding or whatnot, or when I see people trying to get other people to join, their groups, my whole thing was how are we going to approach these teenagers? A lot of them, honestly, they're fresh out of high school, going straight into college. They may be 17, 18, 19, and you even have your older ones that's 25 and up. But I felt like one thing that we could do is we can take, like how we have these flyers here. I've been to the corner store many times, and all I see is these flyers talking about booty shaking and all this other mess. We can take their designs to an extent, and we can incorporate into the UNIA and make it a UNIA thing. And so I'll go ahead and proceed with reading. But one method of approach is to create a UNIA fraternity club promotion flyers. We want to include QR codes that take them directly to videos that describe what we stand for and the history and future of the UNIA. If possible, have a current student or UNIA member pass them out at the meeting events of African Greek fraternities and other social gatherings like clubs and parties. We got to infiltrate this. We got to look at this as a military operation. We can't be playing around out here because they ain't playing around with us. All right. Some of the what the video should include: benefits, long-term and short-term of becoming an active member, the history of the UNIA, teachings of Dr. Clark and all descendants, music videos produced by UNIA activists. I know a few. Current programs that we have in place, fundraisers, community events, and the purpose and end goal for the UNIA.
Mhm.
All right. Now, coming back when we talking about the dues, about how we can bring in all this money for dues, I'm pretty sure most of you are familiar with the rock that we have out in New York. And my whole thing is, I'm in North Carolina, and the Mexicans are taking over around here. We got Mexican grocery stores, the hood stores that used to be all black. You know, now they're Mexican stores. They're everywhere.
In California too.
Oh my goodness. You know, we could go on and on about that. And so my whole thing is I want to look at how we can use some of those dues to expand the rock, because we need a black grocery store in every major city. There's no reason why we don't have at least one black grocery store somewhere in Atlanta or in the surrounding counties or whatever the case may be. It should be one in at least every place where the UNIA is stationary. So the rock provides
Good idea.
yes, ma'am. The rock provides pro-African African businesses with an alternative to circulating the black dollar back into the hands of the opposing groups. We all have to eat, and black-owned restaurants have to have fresh monthly supplies. With the funds and dues the UNIA will receive from the HBCUs alone, the rock can be duplicated in every major city and or expanded to have a broad-based outreach. Black food suppliers can order all their goods from the rock and have them delivered by our commercial drivers state and nationwide, recapturing hundreds of millions of dollars from the opposing group's hands. So, you know, this is one thing I feel like we definitely got to focus on when we start getting these recruits, getting that money coming in. And these are some images that I want to kind of settle in your mind of you know what we're shooting for as far as the UNIA goes. You know, we need black drivers, and you know, a lot of times we show men doing all these jobs, but we got women out here that are willing to put that work in too. So, all right. I hope that as I move on to this slide, I don't want anybody to take offense. I have respect for everybody and their own belief system for whatever they choose to believe. Obviously I have my own beliefs or whatnot. But you know, no disrespect to anybody. Churches and the NOI, which is the Nation of Islam, and the UNIA-ACL. As I told you guys, we got to infiltrate these colleges, but there's somewhere else that we got to infiltrate, and that's the church. Okay, there are thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of African American registered churches in the United States. The average number of members is no less than 15, and generally no more than 10,000. We all know Africans are very spiritual people. The bulk of Africans that attend church do so because they believe in having good morals and values. The church was handed down to us in slavery and still has a chokehold on the community. We have to recruit in the Black church and the Nation of Islam and get our people to pay into something that will build for our benefit instead of prayer and entertainment. The revenue potential could turn the whole game upside down and help destroy the monopolies that have been created to take advantage of us. Now, you know, I was raised up in the church or whatnot, and from my understanding, one of the things of being a member is you got to pay 10% of whatever your income is. And, you know, the UNIA, we're only asking for what, $4 a month, somewhere around there. So we should be able to convince them to pay into what we got going on rather than you paying to the church. All you paying into is just having the building standing up there. Other than that, you know, you're going to get some prayers and wishes, but what's prayers and wishes going to do for our babies that's got to eat? You know, we've been praying and wishing for a long time, and I ain't seen much happen yet. So I feel like God or whoever you subscribe to, at the end of the day, you know, we're given the will to do what we need to do, and it's up for us to make that happen. All right. So we gotta just to set a few examples here of the issue that we have. We got TD Jakes. He's worth around 18 million. Jesse Jackson 10. Louis Farrakhan 3, Eddie Long 5, and Cindy Trim 15. Now, the point that I want to make here is that just like we were talking about The Rock, if these people were really pro-black, as they basically put off at least Jesse Jackson and Farrakhan, you know, if these people are really pro-black, how come they can't come together and you know, put maybe $500,000 for, like I was saying, a grocery store line, a franchise or whatnot. They could easily come together and do some type of black bank or whatever the case may be. They have the money, so they could get a loan or business loan, even if it's not even together. How come they haven't done it at all? You know, TD Jakes, $18 million. You telling me he can't spare two? So, you know, when it comes down to the church, I got some feelings about that. The mosque as well. All right. Now, as I said, this presentation was mainly focused on the Baltimore division. It's going to be updated to include more of the nation. But in the Baltimore division, we have mainly the gangs or the groups, the street groups will be the Black Guerrilla Family, Bloods, Crips, some GDs, and then mainly biker gangs. Okay. Now this right here, a lot of people are very controversial on this, but my thing is we need to bring these brothers and sisters into our
your
organization.
organizations. You're right.
That's right. And even though, you know, they may have a bad history, but you know, I can't speak for everybody, but I grew up in an environment where that was normal. You know, my father smoked crack. He smoked it around me. It was just something that people did, you know. So to have these young brothers and maybe even older as well, out here committing crimes, it's because they ain't really been shown a better way. Look at the system. All right. So street warriors in the UNIA-ACL, the youth. Many of the youth are following behind their older siblings and parents. A weekly program could be created where they come together and learn authentic African history, play games, and build friendships. Afterwards, we feed the children, following in the footsteps of the Black Panthers, taking time to learn what makes them special, building character and implanting ideas that they too can be the next Imhotep. We must explain to them why they are in the condition that they are in, who created it, who maintains it, and how to break it. The program would also introduce them into the UNIA Youth Division, exposing them to the teachings of the fraternity and the UNIA principles. It only takes one to be the next Malcolm or Harriet. All right. Now the guard dogs. The guard dogs are I don't want to say a biker gang, but a biker group is supposed to be all Black in Baltimore. And I'm pretty sure that you guys know of other Black bikers who are in other cities or, you know, other sections or whatnot. So this, you know, this relates to all, but my thing is we need to bring them in too. We want to be honest about our intentions, and as far as contacting them, we want to be honest about our intentions, explain that we want to help keep the police out of our community and build Black economics by governing ourselves while promoting race first mentalities. Although it may seem unlikely, African biker organizations would be a prime candidate to help with the youth. Many are street savvy, obviously race first, and most have children as well. The majority, if not all of the men are masculine, which can help with promoting natural mating practices. There is a gay agenda in progress to feminize our African men and masculinize the women. It's fit into their depopulation agenda, the Global 2000 report. If you haven't heard about it, I encourage everyone to take some time after this to look up the Global 2000 report. And it's something that the Europeans have put together. It's basically their plan to wipe us off this earth, their depopulation agenda for us. Now going back to the bikers, the women and wives of these men can help in mutual respect to what the men do by teaching the young women how to be physically conservative with their bodies, make good wives to the men, and etc. The Thunder Guards should also be welcomed into the UNIA. My whole thing is, I don't care if you gang bang. You know, I don't care what organization you're with. As long as when you're with the UNIA-ACL, you know, we hold you to the UNIA-ACL standards or whatever the case may be. But whether you want to be Blood, you want to be Crip, or whatever you want to be, it's okay for you to be that and be UNIA too. You know, we can have that. That's my view on that. Now, when it comes down to the so-called gangbangers, I say this is our future African Legion right here. These brothers already ready to put in work. They've been putting in work. Unfortunately, they've been putting on the work on each other. And we need to change that mentality to get them to start looking in other directions if it comes down to it. So as far as approaching them, we want to start by asking to speak with or meet a few of the higher ups, offering to pay if need be. We got to get in there somehow, okay? Be honest about our intentions. Explain that we want to help keep the police out of our community by governing ourselves. Most of the organizational histories claim to branch off of the Black Panthers, encouraging them to join the UNIA with promise that we will protect, educate, and mentor them for the youth at the very least, listening to their problems and trying to solve them. Many of us have the same problems, do we not? Solving the problems of one can provide a solution to many more. We can't lecture them about drugs. The focus should be on trying to stop violent crimes against other Black people. After we address the core issues being lack of generational wealth and proper guidance, we can focus on drug prevention. We also can't focus on trying to take away guns. We have to teach them not to shoot one another, but rather teach them to have shame. We as Africans have a right and a need to bear arms. Don't forget that 2,000 plus years of genocide and slavery that we have endured. If all our ancestors had guns to defend themselves, we wouldn't be coming together tonight discussing how to defeat this genocidal and imperial system. The fake Jews also fell victim to genocide because they didn't have enough guns to defend themselves. Don't be a victim of stupidity. All right. Now, as we come to this image right here, I just want this to soak into your mind. This is where we should be with the youth. As I was telling you, we bring them in, we teach them, we feed them, and then we empower them. You know, we show them strong Black women, strong Black men, and we put that Black power, that race first mentality into them. If the Black Panthers can do it, so can we. All right, here goes another images that a group of images that I want to sit inside your mind as well. All right, without the African Legion and guns, this will be your future. This is our past right here, and history repeats itself. We can see it happening right now. We're still slaves, whether you believe it or not. If you look at the 13th Amendment, it says that you won't be a slave unless or except deemed otherwise by the government, and that comes down into imprisonment or whatnot. When you get locked up for a crime, you are now a slave. So slavery hadn't ended; it just transferred hands from the individual to the state. Okay, and when we look right here in this video, I mean this image to the very top right, we see all of our brothers and sisters, right? But who's got the gun?
Who got the gun?
You know what I mean? So when it comes down to it, we keep talking about we got to take away the guns from the youth. I don't quite sit well with that, because that's how we got into this predicament. These white people, they couldn't have had taken over Africa without the gun. They cannot beat us with brute strength, and they know this, which is why they carry it so dearly. So please take this to heart, because I don't, we're headed back towards this future. If we're already there, in a certain way, but we're headed back to being more so indentured slaves again. All right, without guns and the youth ready to put that work in, my street warriors out here, this is gonna be us. And once again, we got all these African brothers and sisters. They got their hands up. What do they not have in their possession? Nobody's got a gun. Where the weapons at? Even if we had this, this young brother at the very bottom, to the left, even if he had a gun, he could have did something, So we need our youth. The elders out here, they can't really protect us like that when certain things pop off. That's what the youth is for, and they're already out here shooting each other. We got to teach them, nah, we don't shoot each other. We put that work in on other folks when necessary. So, let this image sit. This is in Africa. They were able to do this because they didn't have any guns. They didn't have any weapons. They don't want us to have guns. All right. So when it comes back to recruiting, I think that another way that we need to recruit is by using the new Black media. Some of you may be familiar with these gentlemen that I have at the very bottom. So I'll go ahead and get into the slide. There are several mass media pro-Garvey activists across the mainstream medias, the mainstream social media platforms. They are independent of each other, but all promote the same pro-Garvey principles: being unapologetic, and informative to the African community at home and abroad. Combined, they have a following of over 200,000 people, most of which will be willing to investigate into, or at the very least, join any organization that they promote. They are the lost Garveyites that should be brought home. We have to apply pressure on them to join our initiative. They all advocate race first and put their lives on the line weekly by speaking out in our benefit. Although I doubt that they'll deny active membership, if so, we can still fundraise to buy advertisement time on their broadcast. This tactic is likely to be the most efficient and effective way for quick and mass enrollment. And just to point out the brothers that I have, we got the Black Authority. All of these gentlemen, they are on YouTube. I encourage all of you to please take the time to check them out. You know, we all have our differences. You may not like, I guess, the tone that some of these brothers talk, but, you know, just look into them. We got the Black Authority, General Cyrus Suit and Seti, this gentleman right here, and then Professor Black Truth. All right. And basically that comes to the end of my presentation. And I have a video to play, but I will admit that it does have some light cursing in it, and it's by General Cyrus Suit and Seti. And if I have permission, then I'll play the video, but if not, then I'll go ahead and conclude on this.
How long is the video, Brother Cameron?
I think it's like 1 minute, 2 minutes at the most.
You go ahead.
Okay, it's 3 minutes. We good on that?
Yes, you're good, my brother.
All right, and let me know if you guys can't hear it.
Black power. Put it in the air. Black power. Black power. Black power. Black power. I heard a lot of speakers up here today. A lot of people wasn't speaking to the youth. I gotta be real about it. You see what I'm saying? I even hear people up here really snitching on the children. Just snitching on them. Ready to tell the police on them. And that's why these kids is mad as hell right now today. Cause all you Uncle Tom niggas, all y'all do is call the police on these babies. That's all. You don't raise them. God damn it, you don't raise them. And so they grow up and become whatever they become, and then you wanna call the police on them. You a traitor to your own race. Okay? You are a traitor to your own race. Anywhere where there's a mass of black people, white people are coming in and destroying it, breaking it up. We talk about niggas selling dope. Who brought it in here? But when they dropped that crap on our people, it was worse than a goddamn atomic bomb. And the murdering and the killing that you see today is what's left over from the crack era. The crack ain't even in no damn more. The crack ain't even in no damn more. But the killing, the murdering is still here. I didn't come out here to shuck and die with you niggas. I come out here to tell the truth. There's a war going on in these streets. So to all my brothers out here, we all we got. They done took it all over. Y'all wanna sing, y'all wanna clap, y'all wanna dance, but they still taking this shit off. It's something wrong going on. We got to fight these, okay? They gonna kill us all if we don't fight. So I stand in unity with anybody that's willing to stand up to this beast. A young black man, we got to get together. If nobody else, we got to get together. We is the army for the black community. The only person or grouping that's gonna stop these from killing our people is us, the young black man. Okay? And to all my elders, I love you. I love you dearly. But you better side with this movement. When the young black man and stand up and say this is what your agenda is, you back us 100%. Anybody that's not with us is against us. And I feel for your ass. We gonna win this war. Black power family, I love you. I'm always with you. Stand up and fight this goddamn beast. Black power. Take your dollars and put it back into the black family.
All right. So my whole thing with playing that was, you know, that really touched my heart. And when I say that we need to create like advertisements and videos or whatever, that's what I mean. We need to have these type of people pushing our agenda. He's already black, black first, race first. We need to be trying to click up with people like this, or at the very least paying them to, as I said, help push our agenda. So I'll end on that. And I guess we can, if you guys have any comments, concerns, questions, or anything that you think should be added to it, please feel free to critique me or whatnot. I'm shooting for improvement every day. So
Thank you, Brother Cameron.
sure.
I agree with 99% of what Brother Cameron presented today. He is the voice of the young generation. We talk about bringing individuals, like him in. So I think listening to their suggestions is one of the key things. So I wanted to open the floor at this time for see if there's any questions or comments in regards to Brother Cameron's presentation. Greetings, Lady President.
That's exactly what we did to the young gang members out of the streets and put them into the black organizations. The organizations, and we had Simba Wachanga, and they were the young girls who were formed in the gangs in the streets of LA and came to the organization, and that's the role they played. So they learned from
Can anybody
martial
hear
art.
her? Because I can't
Not
hear
very
her.
clear.
Mama Mina, you breaking up pretty bad.
I couldn't hear anything. Like it sounded like a computer or
Maybe I'm
something.
by this fan. Maybe the fan is doing something. I don't know.
Okay, now I can hear you. Now I'm starting back to hear you.
I said that during the
just-
Black Power movement, we did exactly the same thing. We took the out of the streets of LA, put them in the organization, and they were our Simba Wachanga. So they learned the martial arts, and they also learned cultural nationalist teachings. Just changed, and they had start practice Kwanzaa, and so that had the value system, and they had the values of Kwanzaa. So it's up to us. The kids in the gangs, they're our children, and I agree with the brother. We have to step in and reteach them, and that's exactly what we tried doing back in the day, in the Black Power movement days.
Respect.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Lady President. Any other questions, comments? Again, we've talked about this for months and years. We have a presentation from a brother that's outside of our division, not even within our division, giving a proposal and a potential solution. So I am expecting,
So I had a question.
Go ahead, Lady President. I mean, Lady Vice President.
Okay, I don't know if I missed it, but did you already have, like, how do you go about going to the colleges to open up a fraternity? Have you mapped that out, or is there a price to do that? Or
well, my whole thing was now this presentation is just a general overview. So my plan is to basically go back and update this with much more detail on making that happen, specifically pertaining to the college and not so much the gangs and other recruitments. But to answer your question, what I have came to the conclusion of is that we're not really going to be able to do an on-campus fraternity like the white people already have it set up as far as the Greek fraternities. And I say that because a lot of these fraternities, the way that the schools have it set up is that they don't want you to be race first. They call that discrimination. So, and when it comes down to like, let's just say if I was 20 years older, maybe if I was 50 years old and I wanted to just walk out on the campus and start passing out flyers and talking about the UNIA, you'd be risk being arrested if you didn't act accordingly, or when they told you to get to moving. So my thing is that, as I said with myself, I'm a bit older than a lot of my peers or whatnot, but my thing is that we need to try to get at least one person who is in college to go out and do that recruitment. And then once, you know, we pass out the flyers, we find out where the parties are. Obviously we can pull up on the parties, you know, but we want to try to have young people at least, you know, doing that first introduction to pull them in. And then once we pull them in, we got to have an education program set up where, just like I'm in college right now, and I don't have, you know, the time. I can't, just like this meeting today, I probably wouldn't have been able to make it if, you know, if I had to go to work, and then I also got school on top of it, and I'm a single parent. So my thing is that we have to have some type of online educational platform where they can watch the videos as far as the orientation or whatnot. You know, they can watch the orientation whenever they feel like it, things of that nature. But as far as I said, getting them in, we want to make it where we go out there, we give it, we reel them in with, you know, the videos or the flyers or whatever the case may be. And once we bring them over to Zoom or whatever platform, that's when we really put our work in. So it's not really a on-campus fraternity. It's going to be more so geared toward off-campus. But we have to have youth to even be able to get on campus and help push the agenda. Because if you just try to go out, walk out on campus, and like I said, just start passing out flyers, you're more, you know, especially if the wrong white person catches it, you know, they're going to kick you up out of there. Why are you here? You're talking about race first. We like inclusion. We want gay first, you know, so they don't, you know, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, but you know, that's the agenda. So when it comes down to it, we gotta come together, and I can't do this by myself. You know, I'm just gonna take more than just me, but we got to come together and figure out how we can educate them and pull them into our groupings or our meetings like we're having today.
Well, I don't know, but do they still have Black student associations? The
Um,
BSUs?
I have looked into it somewhat from the college that I'm at. I'm at East Carolina University, home of the Pirates. And from what I've seen, all of the Black, like I guess you can say so-called Black organizations, they all have this everybody's included verbiage. And you know, me personally, I'm a Dr. Khalid Muhammad fan, and I'm not with no everybody's included, you know. And if that's the case, then I'll come and hear what you got to say, but I can't really take it seriously as far as supposed to be a Black association, if that makes any sense.
Yes, sir.
Well, yeah, they had the BSUs back in the day, so I don't know what's happening these days.
Yeah.
But they did used to have those.
Yes, ma'am. As I said, they do have some Black organizations that aren't fraternities, but I haven't found any that are strictly race first. And you know, and when I see the verbiage, at least for the college that I'm at, they're talking about inclusion for all, and you know, it's nothing about Africa or anything of that nature. It's
Because when they
they're
celebrate
lost.
Kwanzaa, it's Black people celebrating Kwanzaa. If they still do it, I'm assuming. I mean,
Well,
that's what we used to speak with too. We go to the Black student associations at high school and in the colleges, and turning people on that way.
yes, ma'am. As far as, you know, them celebrating, I'm not a part of any of those other particular organizations, so I can't exactly say, you know, what they do during that time. But from what I've seen, it's nothing but coonery going on. From what I've seen,
Is ECU HBCU?
it isn't. It's not. And you know, and you made that's a good question that I'd like to kind of hit on as well. I spoke about HBCUs, and I showed you guys where if we can only get 1/3 of the students just in Maryland alone, you know, that's $500,000 of annual income coming in. Now, I'm at a PWI, you know, predominantly white institute. So if we can even if we can get a couple hundred or, you know, 1,000 here, there's universities all over the place. So we're talking about multi-millions of dollars that can be brought in easily with the revenue that we could obtain. And a lot of these, I had a slide up here that I took off because I was trying to shorten it down some, but it shows that these fraternities, they're charging like $300 a semester. I've seen some even $600-700 a semester, where that's what they're charging the students to join. And what do we ask as the UNIA? You know, $56 initially, and then $46 a year afterward. And my whole thing is, we can ask for that, but you know, we can maybe say $100 a year instead of, you know, $100 a year for every year that you're in college, and then after that it goes to 46. And with those extra funds, we could, like I said, we could do college events, we could do promotion. It's a lot of stuff that we could do with, you know, an extra 20. When we're talking about 1,000 people, and then they're all paying an extra 20 to, I'll say $40, you're talking about an extra $20,000 to $40,000. That could go a long ways, you know, with the resources that we have. So especially when it promoting and recruiting, that's number one in my book. We got it. Just like you see on this image right here, we got to get these numbers up.
Yes, sir.
You know, we got to get these numbers up. And the only way we're going to be, you know, it's each one teach one. So I came in and I'm telling 10, 20 people about the organization, and I may get 5 or 10, you know, or maybe even one. But the whole thing is, without more recruitment, we're not going to be able to swell. And that's what the white supremacists, they want. They want us to be segregated. It's divide and conquer. You know, so we got to get these numbers up, and the faster we get the numbers up, the more of a problem we're gonna be for them. Faster we're gonna get back to what, you know, our goal of basically dominating our own landscape, and instead of being dominated.
Shit, bro.
Yes, Brother Imhotep here. I just want to say to Brother Kamron, I thoroughly enjoyed your presentation, and it's encouraging for a young brother to see a young brother your age with the insight of what our problem is, and proposing these very viable solutions. Yeah, it's just encouraging. I hope you can formulate the procedure where it can be implemented. And you're there in Baltimore and the African community there. I just wish you well. And again, I thoroughly enjoyed your presentation. I'm definitely going to get this Global 2000 report you mentioned.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and just for curiosity's sake, my brother, were you ever in one of those fraternities?
I was in a gang fraternity. I used to run with the Bloods, with the New York Bloods. So as far as college, no, but I have, you know, I've been with the street fraternity, and that's why, another reason why I'm so adamant about it, as far as getting these gang members in, because they, you know, they're lost and they want to belong. And a lot of times we come from broken homes, and we join these gangs because we're looking for, you know, a family, so to say. We're looking for somebody to look after us and guide us. And, and we go out there and we get it from the streets or whatnot. And you know, once you get started in the system, it's kind of hard not to continue in the system. So, you know, but no, sir, not a part of any fraternities in the college.
Gotcha. And I was thinking of those Greek fraternities that you showed there. Yeah, and neither was I when I was in college, though I was recruited and felt the pressure. But once I learned of the African history, they couldn't get me in one of those Greek things there. So yeah, and you were talking about, yeah, I know some brothers who were branded with that Greek lettering, and just think of putting that on your body, and yes, something Greek, you know, and not African. But again, I thoroughly enjoyed your presentation. I wish you all the best, and look for an update here in the future sometime. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Asante, thank you, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate the kind words and comments. And like I said, you know, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. This is a work in progress. So if any of you have, even if it's later on, it doesn't have to be now, but if any of you have any other ideas, or like I said, any critiques for maybe how I can present better, or maybe, you know, something of that nature, please feel free to let me know, or let the president know. And you know, we can kind of get on it. I'm here to network and to build with others. And like I said, you know, if I wanted to do it by myself, then I would be, but I joined the UNIA so I can be surrounded by like-minded people. So we got to build together and not alone.
Yes, sir.
This is Baba James,
Baba James.
and I want to second Attorney Hemotep's comment and say that I'm honored that I had the opportunity to listen to your presentation. It's not often that I hear what the younger generations have to say about their Pan-Africanism and how important it is to them, and that they have a plan of action for some of the problems we face in regards to our missions toward unity. I want to take an opportunity to give the brother my phone number and let him know that if there's anything that I can do, please let me know. We don't know what I can do until you ask.
That's right.
So my number is 404-254-9418. And that's
All right.
Baba James, BABA James. And anything that it takes to make sure you stay on the path of a race first mission, I want to, you know, be a part of. So I'm sure other members on the call feel the same way, and I encourage any other members on the call to do the same and sharing some information with this young man so that we can all make sure that he stays on the right path to help us maintain our membership, grow our membership, and prepare for a future that we all know is coming.
Ashe.
Respect. Thank you for the kind words, and also your number as well. I'm definitely going to be reaching out. And if I may just say very quickly, although I'm a part of the Baltimore division, I believe in you know, being in everybody's meetings or whatnot, because we can't be divided and build. We have to come together and build together. So I hope that I can you know, be of service to you guys in future meetings.
Well, we sure we are, big brother. Race first. And again, thank you for the information. Reach out to me as soon as you can.
I will race first.
Brother Kimmy, you had a comment. Brother Omar, are you still there on the conference line?
Yeah, peace to the family. I'm still here, brother.
Can you hear him, Brother Cameron?
Yes, sir. I can hear him. Go for
it. Yeah, peace, brother. It's always a pleasure to see our brothers still out here working. It's good to see, especially the young brother, even though you might consider yourself all that young, but it is good to see we still have another generation coming up behind us. So that's always good work. I heard you mention our brother, Dr. Colley. Are we talking about the same Dr. Colley?
Oh, most definitely. It's only one.
Okay, since it's only one, have you got a chance to read his book yet? The Book of Colley?
No, you know what? I have heard controversial things about his book or whatnot. So I haven't read it, but I go to sleep listening to his lectures. So, you know, if that says anything.
Okay, great. Okay, great. Because also you remember Dr. Colley was actually speaking at colleges.
Yep.
I think when he had one speech at King College. I don't know whether you remember that one.
I do, very vividly.
Infamous speech. So
yes, sir.
I was wondering is that something that y'all can do in y'all schools, because he was actually getting paid to go to the colleges and give lectures.
Well, if I may comment on that, and unless you have more you want to say to it at the moment. You want me to go ahead and respond?
No, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to see, you know, what we can do to continue to push. And of course, everything gonna be controversial, but I think we need to kind of see if we can, you know, get to the colleges and actually speak to the colleges. And I'm trying to say if Dr. Colley can actually go to a college and speak, or what was the path that he chose to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And maybe that's something I could do. Peace to the family.
Thank you, Brother Omar. Yes, that is something that we got to look into. Brother Cam, you touched on it a little bit, but the relationship with the schools, to my knowledge, at that time when Khalid was going to schools, he was being invited by the students. And I guess that goes to Lady President's comment about the Black Student Associations. But these teachers, even Malcolm X, they were invited to the schools by the students, and that doesn't seem to be something that schools are doing in our time.
Yeah, and if I may, I guess kind of jump in on it is, as I've kind of stated, the schools are very anti-Black empowerment. And even the HBCUs, they're not even ran by Black people anymore.
Yes, sir.
And if they are ran by Black people, a lot of times, it's coonery coming from out of the country. So, when it comes down to, just like you were talking about, him going and talking at the colleges, I want to try to incorporate General Cyrus Suit and Seti for that type of position. But the only thing is, as I said, he has to get paid to do this, and that's where the extra fees would come in, or whatever the case may be. So I was thinking that for every student that goes through our orientation, he would help build the orientation as far as speaking and presenting, that he would get a certain percentage out of that, and that would help keep him funded, and also have it where we can be able to take some of the funds to fly other people out. It's kind of controversial as far as Dr. Umar Johnson, but he's another candidate that we need to have brothers like him speaking on our behalf when it comes down to these colleges or whatnot. And my thing is, since we could possibly do it on campus, but it would be a lot more of a headache. My thing is, we can rent a building, or we could rent a house, or whatever the case may be, and we can have our own thing just there where nobody else can jump in the mix. And and that's my view on it, that we not to even look at the campuses. We need to basically go there, because we already know how they operate, go there and cipher them in, to the outside. And then from the outside, then we do our indoctrination, we do what we need to do, and try to get brothers, even like Brother Dugay or the PG or whatever, whoever we can, whoever's willing to speak on our behalf, to come in and start talking at different colleges around. The whole thing is, we just got to have somebody that's willing to do it. So
yes, sir.
I don't know if that answered the question.
Just by the way, Brother Umar Johnson is a member of the UNIA-ACL local government.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I didn't know that. Our brother Everett has been trying to reach out to him to get him to basically join in on this initiative as well, and we haven't really gotten a large response from him. So, but thank you for letting me know that.
His participation for UNIA members is $1,000 per diem for his travel expenses and so forth.
Okay.
So if you have any, like I said, when we get together and talk, I can clue you onto quite a few members of the parent body government that have these same ideals and goals in mind. And it is about the monetary purpose of what we do with our funds. And that isn't something that we move on or move into because of somebody has to want to do it. And it sounds like you want to do it. So like I said, reach out to us and we can move forward with that.
Yes, sir.
Before we move to member share, I just wanted to recap from the introduction, just to kind of bring things full circle, specifically on the recruitment and love for self. But based on the introduction, when Garvey was struggling, said recruiting was slow, even though Garvey worked tirelessly and succeeded in establishing himself in the minds of many as an agitator and a nuisance. Many quote unquote respectable Negroes who had not yet learned to love their Blackness opposed his movement. And when I look at Greek fraternities, in schools, and all the women in my life, my wife, my sisters, my mom, they're all Greek. So, I give them a hard time about it, but I've asked them before, where's their allegiance? Is your allegiance to Greek or is your allegiance to Africa? And I also asked them, when you became Greek, did you have to make a pledge? Did you have to make a commitment? Some type of promise. And at the same time, have you made that same pledge and promise to Africa? Every time we open our meetings, we make our pledge to the red, black, and green flag. The American political system makes their pledge to the American flag. And I believe these Greek organizations, they make their pledge to Greece, so until we get to the point where we love ourselves, love our history, love our culture, highly above any other culture, we're going to have an issue trying to, empower and develop our people, because we just don't see any value in ourselves. So, and before we go to member share, one important question I wanted to ask. So, well, two important questions. Was there anyone on the call that disagrees with what Brother Kamron has presented and what he's trying to do? Anyone that disagrees? Okay, I didn't think so. Now, here's the big question, and keep in mind we are recording this for future generations. Other than Baba James, who is willing to help Brother Kamron achieve this goal? And again, we must keep in mind, this is a young brother, probably Brother Kamron, you're probably the youngest person on the call right now. He's coming to this organization, Garveyites, and he's making a presentation for a solution for a problem that he's also identified. So if we walk away from him and don't offer any assistance, what does that say about us as Garveyites and as a division? And why would that encourage any young person to come to us with their issues and their problems if we're not providing any assistance? So again, I'm going to open the floor up. Is there anyone other than Baba James that's willing to offer my brother Cam some assistance and also trying to promote these efforts here locally?
I think we.
I got Brother Omar coming in on the call.
Yes, brother. My number is always open to the family, wherever they is in the diaspora. So surely the brother can also have my contact information.
Thank you, Brother Omar. If you wouldn't mind, could you share that with Brother Cameron? Brother Omar is out of East Cleveland, Ohio. So,
okay.
Brother Omar, if you would, please.
Okay, my brother, you can reach me at area code 216-333-4314.
4314.
4314.
Okay.
216-333-4314.
Thank you, sir.
And what's the brother's name again?
Omar Mukhtar.
Okay.
Brother Omar Mukhtar, East Cleveland, Ohio. Thank you. Thank you, Brother Omar.
Yeah. Brother Imhotep. Greetings, African.
Greetings.
Be more than happy to assist in any way that I can. And I'm Brother Imhotep. And you can reach me at 404-838-7152.
All right.
Thank you, Attorney Imhotep.
Yes, race first.
Race first, brother.
Thank you.
For just to kind of jump in there, for everyone who has given me your number so far, I promise that I will be reaching out to you. As a matter of fact, I'm going to shoot all of you a text today when I get off, just so you guys can go ahead and have my number. And you know, give me a little bit of time. As I said, I am in college. I'm a single father. So, you know, I don't dedicate exactly every day to this, but as soon as I get some free time or whatever, then, you know, we'll build on that. Is there anybody else who wanted to say anything? Or?
I think you're such a good idea that I think that maybe our division, Brother John, maybe we can write some program so that we can attack these. You know, we got Morehouse here and Spelman.
And Clark.
And Clark, right. And we might can develop a program for our division, and then we can branch out some kind of way with the national.
Yes. So yeah, brother Cameron, you got my number. We'll be in touch. But yeah, I think a lot of the proposals that you've made make a lot of sense for Atlanta. There's no reason why we can't, you know, implement a lot of what you're presenting here today. So we'll be in touch, you know. So that's all I can say. You know, I'm here to support and definitely very proud of what you're doing, the work you're doing, and that you put together. I think you're doing a great job, my brother.
Thank you. And if I may just have one last word, as far as assistance, you know, the main thing right now is basically coming down to the nitty gritty of it, exactly how, you know, the program will work. As far as I told you, from my view, the biggest issue is just promotion, branding, and also once we get these students in, you know, like website wise or video wise, because this is the digital age, how are we going to provide them with, you know, video content, and what specific video content can we provide them to, you know, align them with our views?
Yes, sir.
So, you know, as far as what's needed the most right now is just focusing in on the specifics and seeing in other different ways of how we can expand this. So.
Thank you, Brother Cameron. With that, you've just reminded me of something important that I need to present. What is it? Something about convention.
Once again, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, my brother. I'm gonna take control back. You're good. Long meeting. Newsletter, what it is. Whirlwind newsletter, convention newsletter. This is
our Marcus Garvey Day, our parade.
Well, no, 1 second.
I'm sorry.
I wanted to share the agenda for convention. So 2022 convention in Detroit, because the agenda, I've had this for a while, but I never really looked at it until this meeting we just had. But we're planning to discuss a lot of important topics that we've discussed amongst the division and throughout the nation. We're planning to officially have a discussion about them at convention and come out with a position. Let me see where stuff is. So, okay, one of the first things is division organization, unincorporated or incorporated nonprofit. We've talked about the utilization of nonprofits, how some divisions have nonprofits underneath, you know, their groups. In LA, they've talked about actually making the division itself nonprofit. So we'll discuss that in detail in Detroit, and, you know, come out with a national position on how the UNIA feels about being incorporated nonprofit and so forth. Our constitution will be completed, and we'll be handing those out. They'll be handed out in Detroit. So coming back from convention, everybody should receive the updated and latest constitution. So be sure to ask me about that. Business session 4, policy position of the UNIA. This is So this is, they worded it very vague, but this would talk about the UNIA's position on national events. So police brutality, the vaccine, any, national policy that's been going on. One of the criticisms that we've had within the organization is that we don't really have an official position. I think, I'm sure President Marua in Chicago, he made a public statement after Jacob Blake was shot in Kenosha, Wisconsin, but he was reprimanded for those public statements. But other than him making those public statements for Brother Jacob Blake, throughout 2020, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Rayshard Brooks, all of these incidents, the UNIA never really had a official position. So
Wow.
this is something that we've criticized the parent body and the leadership for. So in August, that's another thing that we're planning on discussing. Two other things: propaganda. What we feel, the plan for propaganda, how we will promote the organization. Obviously, it'll be a national coordinated propaganda, videos, flyers, whatever we come up with. But we'll have an official discussion on how to proceed with propaganda. So I'm encouraging us as members and as delegates. We need to try to attend these meetings. We offer our opinions on these mass meetings, but this is where the big meeting where where the actual decisions are going to be made. So just encouraging everyone to come up there and support the division as a delegate and make sure our opinions are heard. Brother Kevin, you got a question? King Kevin.
Hey, yes, I do have a question. Blessings, everybody.
What's going on, my brother?
Oh man, great day to be a black man. Yes, I had a question regarding propaganda.
Yes, sir.
What's the UNIA's position on what's going on in Haiti? Is there a movement or some sort of collective effort to help change some of the inhumane policies and treatment towards Haiti and the Haitians, our African Haitians? Many may or may not know, I'm on a tour right now called the Black Legacy Tour, Stop the Humane Treatment and Illegal Policies Towards Haiti. And I'm linking up with a couple of pro-Black movements in California, Oakland, California, next month during Marcus Garvey Day. And I just came from Chicago, hosting the presentation at a Chicago Haitian American Museum of Chicago. But I was just wondering, was there any sort of movement or campaign or anything like that towards helping our brothers and sisters in Haiti that are suffering day to day?
Excellent question, Brother King Kevin. There's not an official policy. What I will say is our first assistant president general, Brother Raymond Duguay, I know he has a strong relationship with Haiti. I don't know if he was born there, but I know he speaks Creole, and he's, I believe, Haitian Creole, but he's visited the country several times over recent years. I will tell you one of the things that I have heard internally when we've talked about it, because that came up, but the response was not very optimistic. The general response was the level of corruption is so high that it would be dangerous for us to try to send a delegation, actual delegation on the ground. You probably know more about it than I do. I don't know exactly how serious things are, but I do know that was the sentiment that was given to the individuals that posed that question. The leadership said, you know, the corruption is too high and things are too dangerous for us to actually try to physically go there and make any contributions.
I can't say something regarding that. There are some dangerous parts of Haiti without a doubt, and violence is a sign of social disorganization. So the question is, how is it that there's so much social disorganization? You know, it's because of the 200-year war the U.S. government has had towards Haiti, and before U.S. it was France. In order to have a delegate there physically, it will have to be planned and organized. Northern Haiti is much safer. I just came from Haiti myself. You know, and it's nowhere near as bad as they're showing on television. As long as you stay away from the hot areas, so to speak. But you know, if UNIA is interested in doing something like that, I would love to have a conversation and whether I come with you or, you know, have my team that's down there, you know, waiting. So it can be planned and organized. I wouldn't allow the European propaganda scare us and fear us away from our homeland, because, you know, Haiti is a home of the revolutionaries. You know, it's the first, you know, successful slave revolt that turned to a state in the whole world, in world history. And so they're paying for that, but it's more of an economic reason why Haiti is paying the way it's paying, because in order, just like any other country in Africa, you know, in order for the scheme of the Europeans to work, they have to show that the country is disorganized. They have to create economic enslavement, because that's what Haiti is. Haiti is officially, for those who don't know, Haiti is officially a slave colony of the U.S. It was made that in 1915 during the Woodrow Wilson FDR invasion of Haiti that took like 20 years. And so they created the situation to make it the way it is. Now, the way it is right now, we can either just turn our heads and hope for the best, or we can physically do something. I'm not saying that Haiti has a lot of problems, because it's been created that way, and this is what we're seeing. Any day now, Haiti will be occupied again by the U.S. They're probably gonna send another 30,000 troops there and take over the country to keep our African brothers and sisters there enslaved, working on some sort of plant or whatever economic scheme they have going on. In order for their schemes to work, it has to remain poor. It has to be seen as poor. And even though Haiti, even though they've said, and I placed a link to my campaign in the comment section, anybody, I have videos and links, et cetera, to our GoFundMe. We're raising funds to continue this fight to, one, allocate support for Haiti and what we're doing, but the main thing is to help change these policies. And so in order for their scheme to work, no matter where they are, Haiti has to be seen as poor. You know, I mean, I can't stress that enough, because even though Haiti's promoted as the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, believe it or not, Haiti is the richest country, one of the richest countries in the Western Hemisphere. It's flooded with gold, it's flooded with oil, natural minerals, and most importantly, iridium. But I'm not going to continue talking, you know, and taking up the time of this meeting. But there's a lot of truths that aren't being told. And so Haiti being such a valuable resource to America, they cannot afford for Haiti to govern themselves, because then they won't be able to cripple and keep the country crippled.
I say, Brother Kamron, I know you had your hand up for a minute.
Yeah, and I just, as far as what the brother was just saying right then, I totally agree with him. Just like when it comes down to the gangs and us wanting to recruit them in, you know, we got to go into areas where there's disruption, where there's violence. We can't stray away and take the, you know, I'm scared position. We got to have brothers that's, you know, it may not be you, you know, it may not be me, but we got to have some type of brothers that's, you know, maybe they know the ground or whatever the case may be, or they're just ready to take it on. You know, we got to find those brothers and put them in place and have them go out and reach out and do the groundwork. And that's where, you know, that African Legion comes in, and those, you know, young brothers ready to put that work in. That's where they come into play. But you know, as I said, I like what you got going on, brother, and I'm gonna try to help you as much as I can or whatnot. My money's a little funny at the moment as well, but I'll try to contribute to you, and hopefully we can continue to build from here. Because I like your plan, and as you said, we got to take over. We got to take Haiti back.
Yeah.
The main reason why I raised my hand was I wanted to ask if you don't mind, President, if you could send me the itinerary for the meetings, because I plan on going and presenting there and bringing forth some issues as well. So, Brother Everett, he didn't relay that on me, but if you don't mind, I'd like for you to send it my way.
Yes, I can do that. Can you tell me your email really quick?
Yes, sir. It's Kamron, Kamron.
Yeah, put it in the chat.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the chat real quick.
Okay, thank you.
Gotcha.
All right, well, yes. To your brother's point, I understand what y'all are saying. I agree with what y'all are saying. The only thing I will throw out there is Garvey's lessons on diplomacy. Even if we do have the power and authority to go in and correct the situation, Garvey teaches us to be diplomatic. So there's a way of doing things without showing your whole hand. But I agree with what y'all are saying. It's just there's another level to it from a UNIA standpoint. All right, let me get through the program, and then we'll do a quick member share. It's probably gonna be like 1 minute each. Propaganda UNIA website. So if you're not aware, our website is UNIA-ACL government.com. I'm not gonna pull it up tonight. I can pull it up at the next meeting. Y'all can pull it up on your own. UNIA-ACL government.com. We'll be working to update it, make it more functional, and make sure all of the divisions are represented. And the last thing I'll touch on is Universal African Legions and Black Cross nurses and juveniles and other auxiliaries. So as we were just talking about, as Brother Cam presented, a plan for the youth, we're supposed to have a discussion from parent body level to get our juveniles involved, as well as a national plan for Universal African Legions and the Black Cross nurses. So just a reminder, these are important meetings. Our High Executive Council is in April, May, and then our largest meeting of the organization is International Convention, and that's what we're presenting now. And this will take place in August, specifically August 20. Let me see, let me get this real quick. I'll share y'all. August 23rd through 27th will be the International Convention. All right, I don't have anything else. I kind of want to get into member share. I didn't even get to the meeting minutes for July 7th. And also, it's a lot going on. All right, let me just get the member share. First, as brothers, we should know we have to be good listeners. We allow our sisters to speak first. So first sister I want to call on Sister Ifaniyi.
Good afternoon, everybody. I just want to thank you, Brother John, for bringing on that young brother with all that beautiful energy, and just to let him know that we all love him and we got his back. Thank you, and have a great one. Race first.
Race first. Thank you, Sister Ifaniyi. Still sharing. We just checked the conference call. Okay, that jumped off. Next sister, bring in his list. Member number 284, Sister Aziza.
Here we go.
Greetings, my family. I just want to say that I really enjoyed Brother Hopkins' presentation. That's awesome. Good to see this young man. Put a lot of energy in that. Very, very nice. I salute you.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
I wanted to also ask if there was going to be a memorial service for Sister Mama Sassy that we just lost.
Yes, we're working on getting the details for that. I don't have any information right now. I'm not sure if President Ross Marvin will have any information, but we are waiting to hear from, well, no. Sister Tania mentioned that it possibly could be this Friday coming up. They haven't done the autopsy, so they're waiting to do the autopsy, and then we'll get more information on the service.
Okay, that's just to determine the cause of death and things of that nature, yeah.
Yes.
Well, so sorry to hear that, you know, really, really sorry.
Yes, it's a big loss for the division and for the government as a whole.
Yes.
Thank you, Sister Aziza.
Race first.
Race first. I'll go to our next sister on the Zoom line, our Lady President, Mama Amina.
And I was also pleased with the presentation of Brother Hopkins, and hopefully we can develop some ways that we can maybe hit these two colleges I mentioned earlier in Atlanta.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, Spelman is here, Morehouse is there, and Clark Atlanta is there.
Yes, ma'am.
And we do know that, you know, Georgia State has Black Studies Department. And the brothers over there, I'm sure they would be helpful if we needed some assistance from them too.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Lady President. You actually reminded me of something I wanted to tell Brother Kamron. In regards to passing out information on campus, things are a little bit different here in Atlanta, and we got to take advantage of these opportunities. But one of the things that I've done, we can set up a table right outside of the campus, on the sidewalk, public grounds, and where we set up is in between the school and a Walmart and a Chick-fil-A. So we're not on the school campus, but we're in a high traffic area where the students come on a regular basis. So it's not as good as being on campus and getting everybody on campus, but it gives us that freedom of being able to speak to the students that come by, and we don't have to, there's no legal constraints, so nobody can kick us out as long as we keep the sidewalk clear. So that's something to consider. I don't know the logistics of ECU or how many restaurants are nearby, but that's something that we've implemented here.
Very good. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you, Lady President. Were there any other sisters on the Zoom before we move to the conference line? Any other sisters on Zoom? Go ahead.
This is Sister Aziza again. I just have a little question. This is to Brother Hopkins. I love your headgear. Where can we get that?
Sister, I got this a couple of months ago off of Amazon. I think it was maybe $15 or $16 or so. And I said, I gotta have it.
Okay. Yes. Now, what was how did you look it up on Amazon? What did you go under?
I believe I put Pan-African hat, if I'm not mistaken.
Pan-African hat.
Yep. And what I'll do is I'll try to look it up before this meeting ends and see if I can post it inside of the chat for you and everybody else. How
awesome.
about that?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cam, I'm about to send you an email. I'm gonna need a copy of my email.
Okay.
That's a very, very, very good presentation. Very good presentation. And this is only half of Brother Cameron's presentation. He's got another presentation on his the homeless initiative. So
Homelessness for sure.
due to time, I asked him to focus on the youth, but I'm looking forward to bringing the brother back for the other presentation. King Kevin, you asked, is there a way to get a recording of this presentation? Actually, yes, there is, but you need to give us a little bit of time. Let me see. I want to show y'all something. Some of y'all are already aware, but you know, it's another opportunity for us to promote. So I'm gonna take it. We have a YouTube page, Brother King Kevin. And I just put our last video up yesterday. That was our study group from June 28th. We had a study group we had an executive meeting this past Saturday. I didn't record that. That's the only thing that's missing. But our mass meeting from what is this? The 28th? Mass meeting from the 26th is there. Study group from the 28th is there. Within a week, I'll have this this recording will be on our YouTube page. But UNIA-ACL Division 421 Atlanta. Please subscribe, and it looks like we've gained about 10 subscribers since we started promoting this. So I appreciate everybody for supporting the page, and please go through, like all the videos, even if you don't like them, you know, like them, put a comment or something. That helps with this thing they call an algorithm. But the more likes and things that you have, more comments, the more promotion the video gets. So please support. Okay, back to our sisters. Let me jump over to our conference line and bring in CBPM member 3094 in Suffolk, Virginia, Sister Mary. Greetings, Sister Mary.
Greetings, everyone. Just wanted to thank the brother for the presentation. It's very enlightening. Race first.
Race first. Thank you, Sister Mary. Everything okay in Virginia?
Yeah, still going on about the same. Waiting for the protective order to go back to court on an appeal to a higher court on reconsideration. The brother still comes back on our land. The police is called and they want to allude to maybe someone wanted off Trump, which no one does that. He is very rural and dark, or maybe someone's playing a prank. So I did file a complaint with Internal Affairs, and I don't know if I mentioned that or not. And they did take my complaint based on the police officer perjurizing himself on the stand, and as an end result, the judge based my credibility, which he said I wasn't credible based on the police officer's testimony, who perjurized himself. And the
Did we lose her, or is it just me?
I lost the whole thing too.
My apologies. Go ahead, Sister Mary. That's my fault. Zoom line. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Sister Mary.
Gotcha.
yeah, so that's the most recent. So I don't know whether or not the police officer, whether they're the department is trying to cover up, you know, find any loopholes, because my complaint is a complaint. So why would that prohibit him from sending out an official letter of the complaint? Is questionable. Race first.
Race first. Thank you for checking in with us, Sister Mary. We're doing the best we can here in Atlanta to try to organize, and we're working with our sister division in Baltimore to try to help us recruit and then bring in some funds. But thank you for the update, Sister Mary.
Thank you.
All right, let me jump back over to our race first. Let me jump back over to our Zoom line. Let me go ahead and grab my elders. I want to hear from UNIA member 165, our Legal Defense Committee Coordinator, Attorney Imhotep.
Yes, greetings, Africans. I'm going to be brief here. Last week I spoke about the Supreme Court, U.S. Supreme Court rulings here. I didn't include two decisions they made where they are really eliminating the separation of church and state. One decision was out of the state of Washington, where the football coach was, they ruled would be permitted to have a prayer on the 50-yard line at the end of the game or whatever. And you may have heard of pay to play, and this would essentially be pray to play. And the other decision was out of Maine, where they said that this religious school, this student who wanted to go to the religious school would be permitted to get a scholarship from the regular city state funds. And so what they're doing is, and these are, you know, white Christian nationalists who are religious oriented. If you are a regular African in America and you pay taxes, your tax money will be permitted to go to these Christian functions, institutions. And so they're really eliminating the separation of church and state. And next year, and here's the biggie is coming down next year. It's a case out of North Carolina, where the Constitution, you read the Constitution, and I got to read it again myself. Apparently, the state legislatures are the ones who control in their individual states how the federal elections are run. Well, yes, the states control how the elections are decided, or the procedures, and who won and what have you. The problem is they want to make it just the state legislatures who would make that decision, and not the courts. If the state courts who would decide if the procedure wasn't fair, or violation, constitutional violation was made. If they rule the way we anticipate they're going to rule that the decision is solely in the state legislatures. And a lot of these state legislatures are Republican ran and controlled, like they are here in the state of Georgia. And if they're really a minority, this is a minority thinking who will now be in control of individual rights and how the country is ran. So that's next year, so there goes the American democracy here. we can anticipate beginning next year in this decision. So that's it, very briefly and quickly. Thank you, and race first.
Race first. Thank you, Attorney Imhotep. But yeah, you dropped in a short amount of time, you dropped a pretty big bomb on us. What should we be doing? You know, what can we do to protect ourselves? One of the things that's coming to my mind, obviously, organizing politically. But what would you recommend, you know, we as a people do to protect ourselves given these new rulings?
Yeah, well, since these state legislatures they're gerrymandered, the minority are in control. For the African, I don't know if we're ready yet for the solution here, but if things continue to go the way they're going, and that's to be anticipated, you know, we're going to have to leave. Okay, repatriate, get the hell out of here. And as I said, we will have to decide that that's what we need to do, and not be, you know, so scared of what our options are. And we may not have, and I've been told, but we will not have much of a choice.
I got you. That reminds me of a Garvey quote. I don't know if anybody remembers it. He says, when all else fails to organize our people, there's one thing that will. Does anybody know what it was? I got to find the quote, but it's something like, when all else fails to organize our people, the conditions will. You know, and that's something we've been trying to you know, mitigate or delay, or, you know, trying to, you know, make things as comfortable as possible while we're in our condition. But yeah, Garvey says, when all else fails to organize our people, the conditions will. And I don't really know exactly what that means. It don't sound good, but as far as the conditions, but if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. So thank you, Attorney Imhotep. Next, brother, I want to bring in UNIA member number 2, our current treasurer, always my president, President Ross Marvin. Greetings, President Ross Marvin. You there?
Yes, greetings, President John, and greetings, family. And I want to thank Brother Kamron for excellent presentation, full of energy, and so positive, and also as a solution, as Brother Kamron said, to grow the UNIA and to grow the funds in the UNIA. Tonight was a very good meeting, and we're definitely going to miss our former Lady President, Queen Sassy. I haven't heard any of the latest as far as when the memorial service will be, but I spoke with her son yesterday, and he said as soon as they have the arrangement set, he'll let me know, and I'll be sharing it with everybody when the memorial service will be for our former Lady President, Queen Sassy, who I'm going to miss so much because she worked so closely with me. I was a president and she was a president from 2014, as Tania said, to 2021. She was so loving, so supportive, and so race first, you know. So yes, we would definitely miss Queen Sassy. And again, great meeting tonight. Race first.
Race first. Thank you, President Ross Marvin. Remind me of something Baba James had mentioned maybe a couple months ago. Orders from the president, giving out orders from the president. So we've only had 2 standing orders from me to all members within our jurisdiction. 1, all members should be paying dues. That's the first thing. 2, all members should be attending as many meetings as possible. So mass meetings, study groups, in-person meetings. Those are the two major directives from me as president. I'm introducing a third one now. I'm calling for all members, all Garveyites, to come out and pay respects to our Lady President when the announcement is made. So that is an official directive, and I expect, everyone that can, I understand that there's going to, some people can't make it, but for everyone that can, that has the ability, I do expect all of us as Garveyites, as Division 421, to pay our respects and show support for Queen Sassy and her family. Okay, thank you.
Brother John.
Yes, Lady President.
You want to mention the shrine event?
I will at the end. I mean, we've got a lot going on this meeting. Queen Sassy takes a big priority. Brother Cam had a great presentation. So I don't want to, do too much. I'll mention it at the end though.
Okay.
Next brother I want to bring in, UNIA member 149, head of our African Legion in Atlanta, Baba James.
Greetings, family. Race first.
Race first, Baba James.
I wanted to take a moment to first invite all members of the UNIA Division 421 interested in participating in Legion, which is the training and defense of our people for any circumstances of protection, to reach out to me at area code 404-254-9418. I'm also inviting all members on the call, and it doesn't matter if you're a division member or not, to participate with the GarveyitesWorldwide.com website. This is our opportunity for us to communicate with each other beyond the meeting calls. So if you want to get off of this call and maybe reach out or follow up with another UNI member, this is the platform to do so, and that is GarveyitesWorldwide.com. Any members who want to use it can send me a unique username along with their email address, and I will forward you a password and login instructions. Race first.
Race first, yes. I second everything Baba James mentioned.
What was that number again?
Area code 404-254-9418.
Okay.
Do you mind putting it in the chat, Baba?
I do not. And
Thank you.
We'll do just now.
Thank you, Baba James.
Race first.
Race first. All right, next brother I want to bring in brother Virginia, brother Art. Greetings, brother Art.
Greetings. Very uplifting meeting, man. Thanks.
That's
Asante Sana. Thank you.
Thank you, brother Art. Race first, and I will be reaching out to you for registration and membership.
Okay. Be looking for it.
Thank you. Other two brothers on the Zoom line. Give me 1 second. Let me jump over to our conference line. We got some esteemed elders on the conference line. Let me jump to UNI member 172 in Brooklyn, New York, Dr. Shams.
Race first.
Race first, Dr. Shams.
Yes, sir. Yes. My condolences, first of all, for Queen Sister Sassy. My blessings and peace be with her and her family. I'm sorry to hear what happened, but I don't know. So the conversation tonight was very much productive. It included all of the details, of everything that we seem to be working on diligently up until this point.
Yes,
I just hope we can carry further implement what we need to. And with that, you must remember also, as already been said, that revenue equals members in organization. If you have a way for members to start generating an income for themselves, then you have a lot more participants.
Yes,
it's
sir.
like some of the so-called Greek sororities that they have, you know. With those Greek sororities, they give people jobs, and people pay into that, you know, because they can get jobs from them. But if you're not offering anything in a way of trying to build a revenue or give gross matching products for UNIA-ACL government, if we don't have the revenue, we can't expect many members, because right now everybody is looking towards some type of finance to keep them afloat, you know, to keep them staying alive out of gentrification that they're trying to put us in other legalities and different things that they're trying to do to us, including perhaps even trying to send us back to slavery.
Yes,
you
sir.
know, so you know, we can do more as long as we have the revenue, and the revenue will equal the numbers.
Yes, sir. Race first. Thank you, Dr. Shams. Just to comment on what you were saying in regards to revenue and business, I have been in discussion with Baba James, our head of African Legion, as well as our business coordinator, Brother Macias. I've got some homework to do as far as organizing our membership database for members that are involved in business or would like to be involved in business. We're going to put all these individuals together, and you know, as a collective, we'll figure out some economic strategies for our people. But excellent point, Dr. Shams. You're absolutely right.
Race first.
Race first. Thank you. One more brother on our conference line, CBPM member 2714 in East Cleveland, Ohio. Brother Omar Mukhtar. Greetings, Brother Omar.
Yeah, peace to the family, and also blessings to the family of our sister that have gone to the ancestors. We have to always remember all these people make sacrifice so we may keep going.
Yes,
so we must remember that. Okay, as we always say, prepare for peace in the time of war, prepare for war in the time of peace. This is our brief war briefing, just for our people who not knows, we set up in the East Cleveland our own first private police department. You can go to communityprivatepolice.com and you can see where we're organizing our own security for our own community. Communityprivatepolice.com. Also, we want to shout out to I don't know how we shout this out, but what we have is if we're not familiar, there was one brother, Rico Bucks, who came forward and said that he was the biological son of UEP Newton. I don't know whether you guys heard of that. Maybe some of you have heard about it already.
Yes.
But we did do an interview with that brother. So that's something we have to check into. But he said he was the biological son of UEP Newton of the Black Panther Party. Okay, also we had our brothers down in Mississippi, Brother Malik Zulu Sabaz, along with other of the comrades from the various different gun clubs and groups. They set up and organized a peddler site, and they also decided to unite all the factions of the militia groups, the Panther parties, the gun clubs, and all the other groups, the Black National Guard and all them, into one united force to establish a coalition to also come together and support each other. This went on in Mississippi. You can go to the Black Panther Party in Mississippi. Also, as we know, there was a shooting in Akron where they shot our brother down and shot him 60 times, where you can see his body jerk with every bullet that they shot. And when they shot the brother 60 times, you know, running. We shot the brother 60 times. So this is the type of things that Marcus Garvey say conditions will get us ready.
Yes, sir.
And also at that protest was also the niece of the aunt of Breonna Taylor, where the police roughed the aunt up, and also Jacob Blake Sr., and they roughed him up. So this is what conditions will get us ready. And our brother, I want to shout out our brother Jacob Blake Sr. because he actually set up an organization where he bringing all the family members who was killed by the police into a non-profit organizational coalition or whatever. But that's good work when our brother take a death of a family member or incident and create it and turn it into a movement. We need more of that. And also we had in Texas where all the young people was killed inside the school and the police stood outside in Texas. All
They
these
sure did.
being shot down in the school like animals by this young white boy who had all legal guns. We got to remember that. And some of the people, why did the police not go in? But if you miss part of the Supreme Court said the police do not have a duty or obligation to protect you. Go check it out. Supreme Court ruling. Supreme Court. Okay. Also, I want to. We should go to Justice for the number 4 GMJ.com. Justice for GMJ.com. Also, Otho.org. Otho.org, which is for our brother Ozone, who also being charged with murder of a police officer. So we want to go to Otho.org, show some support and love. Also for Justice for GMJ.com. And also the last couple of things, we had the Rhode Island had a gun ban where now they don't want you to carry loaded guns with open carry. They don't want you to carry a 30-round mag. They want you to carry a 10-round mag. And they'll move the age of the gun from 18 to 21. So we got to watch this because they pass this around the country. This is just the test first, just the test run when they do that. And also the last, I guess we have a program that we start now to free all political prisoners. So now we actually start to organize where we can go and see how many are brothers from the Panther Parties in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and all the other groups, the Black Liberation Army, and all these brothers and sisters that have fought for us. And now we still allow them to be in jail in the 60s and the 70s. Now we allow them to stay in jail in the 21st century. So that's something we have to do. So we have to be mindful of this war report and remember, they're going to keep coming. So as I always say, prepare for peace in a time of war, prepare for war in a time of peace. And I actually did do a podcast with Black Wall Street Empire.com. It was a 45-minute podcast where I talked about the community private police and how we can police our own community legal. All our officers are certified by the state of Ohio, and we can perform security tasks anywhere in the state of Ohio, no matter how many cities. Peace to the family, prepare for recent war and time peace. Peace to the family.
Thank you, Brother Omar.
All right, Brother Omar, could you put those websites in the chat, please? You talked so fast, I couldn't get them.
He's on Zoom. Brother Omar, if you would, could you repeat the websites? I'll type them in the chat for Zoom.
Thank you, brother.
First website is communityprivatepolice.com.
1 second.
Also, we have Otho.org.
Otho.org.
Justice for the number 4 GMJ.com.
GMJ. Okay. Communityprivatepolice.com, Otho.org.
You can go to YouTube or you can go to the website.
Okay.
You can type in on YouTube or the website. And we will be giving updates to the things that we do in the community and show that we can police ourselves as a people. And these, we're going to set up a site where we can go on and continue to give updates and activities that we're doing in the community. Peace to the family.
Thank you, Brother Omar. And we've only got one more brother. Before we get to that, brother, though, I did need to make a quick announcement or suggestion request. I forgot throughout the call to ask all members to pay dues. Yeah, we've got a lot of good information. We can't build without an economy. So At this time, all members that have not paid dues, please pay your dues. And also, I wanted to thank Brother Attorney Imhotep and Sister Aziza for paying their yearly dues. That payment has been received, Attorney Imhotep, and we actually owe you. I'll talk to you later. I got to give you some money back, though. You paid more than what you had to, but we'll just remember that I owe you some money, and I'll get that to you. But thank you to those that are paying dues, and to those that are not, please, as soon as you can, take care of your dues. Last brother that we've got on the line, just got one other brother. It is our esteemed guest, Brother Kamron. You've got the final word.
All right, peace and blessings, family. Once again, I appreciate you guys having me here in the open arms or whatnot. I did want to comment on a few things and maybe share my screen one more time if it's okay. Brother Shams, he had mentioned about basically how the fraternities they have incentives for the youth to join as far as job wise.
Yes.
And I just wanted to point out one of the ideas that that I would like to implement as far as this recruitment strategy goes. So
go ahead.
All right, bear with me one moment. All right. Everybody can see the screen. You can see the suits.
Yes.
Okay, so this is just one example out of dozens, if not hundreds of examples that we can come up with. This is just one example. Now we have women, mainly women who want to be seamstress. They want to make clothing, this, that, and the third. Where I'm at, we have a textile concentration. And basically my whole idea was a way for us to generate money for the student. This is one way that we would basically, let's just say we would bring in 1 to 3 seamstresses that are in college. All right, we would ask them to basically, make the uniforms for us, because right now we don't have an official place where we can go and get our African Legion uniforms or our Black Cross Nurse uniforms. Yes. And so my thing is, if we have our own, just like maybe the Baltimore, we're trying to do it in corporations, right? In corporation right now, or a corporation right now, and it's basically to build funds so we don't have to basically be begging people for money. We can have money coming generating for the UNIA. And so my thing is, we can get the materials with our business, with our UNIA division business or whatnot. And then we could basically, we can set a price. Let's just say the materials cost, $30 per coat. Then we add on, maybe $40, $50 profit, and then maybe another $30 or $40, or maybe even $50. The price can vary or whatever, but we add on some profit for the UNIA, and then we also have a percentage, a higher percentage that would go to the woman who would construct this for us. And even myself, let's just say if it may cost, if you look right here, I got this image or these images off of an auction. They're selling this African Legion. This is an official suit. They're selling this for estimated $500 to $700. Now, and this is a white-owned company. They're making money off of us right now. And my thing is, I want an African Legion suit. I'm pissed off that I ain't wearing one right now, and you other brothers should be too. Yes, so if we can try to incorporate the seamstress into it or whatnot, maybe we charge, $150 for the coat. It only costs maybe $50 for the material. We pocket $20 or $30 and then put another, $70, $80 inside of, the seamstress's pockets. And now we're generating revenue for her. And we can also have more, memorabilia or propaganda clothing, just like you see how I have the hat or whatever. It's hard to come across. We can come up with our own. Yes, sir. So just to hit on the second picture, this is something else. This is a Black Panther beret or bucket hat that the Black Panthers had made up, and this is what they did back in the days, and they're selling this same thing. You see, $300 to $500 as far as their auction goes, and this is where we can have our sisters bringing this same type of memorabilia, back into view, and we can be making money off of it, and they get employed as well. And that's just one instance. You know, I'm studying software engineering. You got websites, application design, all types of stuff where, you know, cryptography. There's a lot of different fields that we can jump into once we get that up and rolling. And if I could just hit on one more thing, I don't mean to hold you guys up. Can you see the screen as far as this flyer that I have?
Yeah, it looks sideways, but yeah, we see it.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to. Okay, so my whole thing with this was I'm a, you know, how can I put it? I'm a little bit radical. As I said, I'm a college lover. I'm a college fan. So, you know, I'm a little bit more radical. And my whole thing was I didn't really see any flyers that appealed to me. And you know how I spoke upon we got to get the whatchamacallits. I can't even think of it.
Barcode.
Yep. The barcodes or whatever. We got to start using that now. This is what I came up with. You know, nobody else had it, so I made it. And this is just, you know, this is just an idea of my whole thing was where it's split right here at the picture. This is the back image and this is the front image, or either this is the front and this is the back. So you can, you know, you can use it as a poster. You got one side which is, you know, just the image of Marcus Garvey, and then the other side which tells you about the organization. So this is our, you know, my propaganda campaign that I plan on implementing when it's as far as passing out flyers and trying to get the youth to come into the organization. And if you guys like what you see, or you have any other suggestions or whatever the case may be, you know, it's nothing for me to come up here and put the Atlanta division and, you know, put Atlanta down here, and now it's you know, it's ready to go for Atlanta. And it doesn't have to be like we haven't printed out or whatever, but it could also be just like how you see this picture right here. I can have it cut off where all you see is just this part, and you can, you know, you can post it online or whatever. The whole thing is about recruitment.
What size would these be? Or well, I guess they could be different sizes.
Yeah, they can be different sizes. I believe that we're doing like 9x11 or something to that nature. I would have to touch bases with Brother Everett because he's the one who gets them. I make them and he prints them. Okay. So I would have to get in touch with him on that. But we can definitely get you guys some made, or, you know, get the information that you need to make that happen. You know, so, you know, the Black Cross. And here goes if I may, here goes the image that I just love right here as far as the Black Cross goes. You know, I love this piece right here. It's nice, clear, and vivid. And like I said, the picture will be strictly the whole back of it. And this is a gloss, you know, like a glossy, like I said, maybe, and it doesn't even have to be 9x11 because that's kind of big. It could be 5x7. It doesn't have to be large. It can even be put on a regular card or whatever. And, you know, just pass out cards. The only thing is we just got to pay for, you know, for the fine details. But, you know, this is made to be memorabilia. So it's like a poster. If you don't want to look at the back of it, then you post it, you know, you post a picture up somewhere in your office or whatever. And now it's memorabilia or whatnot. You know, we're making history with this.
Yeah.
So just want to throw that out there.
Excellent job, my brother. And yeah, we're in the same page. Baba James, if he's on the line, he's, you know, mentioned very similar concepts in regards to promotion, making sure that it promotes the whatever event that you're doing, but it also has something to make it memorable so that people don't just throw it away. So
that's right.
Doing a great job. I'm gonna send you. Have you seen the UNIA parent body brochure?
I have. I just recently got a hold of it. Maybe I want to say about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
So
the little three sheet one that opens up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can see it.
And as a matter of fact, I got Brother Everett to go and I guess get some printed out.
Mm-hmm.
And I basically, you know, there's difference between files or whatever when you get pictures where you can blow some up and you can and if you blow others up, then it'll be really blurry.
Yeah.
If you would like, I got the SVG image, which scales up and down perfectly. I can send that your way, and you can, you know, get started on getting that printed out whenever you get ready.
We'll be in touch. Let me get with my my African Legion coordinator. He's also helped us a lot with promotion. So let me get with him and we'll reach out to you.
Respect. Once again, thank you guys for having me on. Hopefully I'll come back and do some more.
Our pleasure. Was there anyone on the call that did not get a chance to share before we move to close? Anyone on the call that would like to share before we move to close?
Don't close without saying something about the shrine.
Oh, so much going on. Where is that at?
Coming back after the convention, I guess.
Well, I'll do my best. So we had our first meeting, official meeting with the Shrine of the Black Madonna this past weekend. We are in July. This is old. We're actually right here right now. We had a meeting with them on the 9th and in the morning, but we're going to have standing meetings every week on Saturday leading up to Marcus Garvey Day, which will be on the 20th. I mean, I don't know if there's any, was there any details that you felt like we should share? We're still working on the program. I think at this point, the only thing to share with the family is, the fact that we are having the event.
Right.
Thought I had a flyer in here. Hold on, let me pull up the flyer for Baba James has helped us with the flyers. Okay. Yeah, here it is. It's the old one, but it'll work. Screen share. So this is the flyer that many, the executives at least, should all have it. We will be at Shrine of the Black Madonna. We partner with them for Marcus Garvey Day. We have for the past 2 or 3 years. August 20th from 12 to 6 p.m. We will be at the Shrine of the Black Madonna. If anyone is interested in vending, you can call the administration cell phone 678-631-9404, but save the date. I guess that's what we're doing. August 20th, 2022, we'll be celebrating Marcus Garvey Day, and we'd like all members to come out, support, and honor the legacy of Marcus Garvey.
Right.
But other than that, I mean, before that, we actually got on the 24th of this month. So in 2 weeks, we'll be doing an in-person orientation. Baba James, he's working with me to get a small PDF put together, and we'll send that out. But in 2 weeks, we probably will not have. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do I'm thinking of recording the orientation and have that serve as our mass meeting, but we probably won't have an official 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock mass meeting on the 24th. So I'm expecting everybody to come to the Forest Park location. And for those that can't, hopefully we'll be able to Zoom it and share it on YouTube and everything.
Okay.
So that's all I've really got. That's all I got. Any questions, comments before we move to close? Questions?
Yeah, peace to the family, Brother John.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I gave the first website, blackwallstreetempire.com.
Black Wall Street.
There's many items. Yeah, there's many items and businesses being sold. So it may be something on there that can help the brother with the hats or the clothing or whatever. It's called blackwallstreetempire.com.
Thank you, Brother Omar.
Appreciate that.
Any other closing comments? Okay. Thank you, everybody. Very, very good meeting, long meeting, a lot of information. Encourage all members to go back and watch this video once we share it to YouTube and watch the other videos as well. Just to keep us on track for the goals that we're trying to accomplish this year as well as next year. With that being said, we can all come off mute and close with the motto of the organization. Repeat after me. One God.
One God.
One God. One God.
Wait, hold on. Hello, Macias.
Greeting.
You just joined in? You just got
Yeah, man.
Okay, everything good?
Yeah, I had to help somebody move today, man. So locked in.
Okay. Let me see.
Greetings, family.
I need to get with you. The one thing that I mentioned about you, I need to get with you and Baba James. We got to get a database for members that do business in the organization. So I'm going to go through the whole database, pull out all that are involved in business, and then we need to, somehow get everybody in the same room and just come up with, some plans for, how we can be effective, how we can work together and see what kind of businesses opportunities we have. So.
Yeah, me and Baba James had a brief discussion about that like last week. So definitely.
Okay. Did you have anything that you wanted to share? We're getting ready to close out.
Nope. Peace to the family. I apologize that wasn't in the meeting today. Had to do a last minute move out. But just excited about what we're doing. Keep doing the work, and that's it.
Okay. The other thing, do you know what I needed from you? What I need you working on?
Which one?
The Detroit.
Oh yes, yeah. The trip, Detroit. Yes. Yeah. Definitely got that going. We'll have a sign up sheet if anybody wants to go. First, I can give you all my phone number or my email address. You can email me directly. Let me know if you want to go, so we can get a head count. That's the first step. Just get a head count, see who all want to go, so we can see what size vehicle that we're going to need to get, and that's the first step. So my email is born to lead leaders@gmail.com. That's BORN, the number 2, the word lead leaders@gmail.com. If you want to go, put in the subject Detroit trip, send me an email, let me know so we can get a head count, and then we'll by after orientation we'll know, get the vehicle in and start finalizing everything.
Please send First Vice President your information prior to August. For our August executive meeting, first Saturday of August, we're going to have a firm idea of who we expect, and we don't expect a lot of additions after that time. So we're going to make firm plans based on those that commit by August executive meeting, because we can't sit around and keep waiting and numbers changing, going up and down. Because that makes it difficult to plan. So thank you, First Vice President, for calling in and supporting. And okay, we'll get back to closing out the meeting.
All right.
One God.
One God.
One aim.
One aim.
One destiny.
One destiny.
Africa.
Africa.
For the Africans.
For the Africans.
Those at home.
Those at home.
And those abroad. Race first, family. Y'all have a blessed week. Go in peace.
Race first.